all you guys out there to confirm audio and everything's rolling through. I want to remind you to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. That's the way to keep in touch with us. Lots of stuff happening out there in the social media world. So that is the number one way that you can get in touch with us. hankstrange.com tells you all the different platforms we're on. Lola has deals and things like that up there on a page called Lola's Deals, and she's got daily deals. You can also go to lolasdeals.com. And also, I want to remind everyone, if you're shopping at Sportsman's Guide and you're spending $100, use the code HANK20. Until the end of the year, you'll get $20 off of anything if you spend over $100, excluding ammo. So go check that out. I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, let me see. Here goes another plug. Hank Strange patches. These are also available on hankstrange.com. We got the broadcast one right there, and then this is the blaster logo with a green super suit. That's what I'm calling it. So I got those that you can check out. Also, thanks to Harry's Holsters for sponsoring the podcast. I think that's about it. We've got Johnny here. Johnny, from the last time, do you remember the jazz hands?
I know jazz hands.
Let's do the jazz hands.
We got the jazz hands going on.
I don't know if we need it because you're already amped up, man. I see your face, I get amped up, so we could probably just jump right in. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on because we are live. This is episode 550. 550 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Do you remember? I can't even remember what episode number you were on before.
Brother, it was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah. Really?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. It was
Wow.
2018 for sure.
2018?
Definitely.
Oh, wow. I've probably moved studios a couple of times.
Yeah.
On my end, man, I had a great time with you on. I'm glad you came back. Welcome to the show. Johnny B, that's the YouTube channel. Now, some people, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, Johnny.
Say it, brother.
AKA Gun Drama Johnny. AKA Gun Gossip Johnny.
And it's a little bit of hill person Johnny, too.
Right, 180-second ideas, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been through a lot of different names, but I rebranded in Thanksgiving. A friend of mine, John Patton, Gun Collective, and friend of ours, I should say. It's like the mob, Hank. It's a friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a friend.
He's a friend.
Yeah, he's a special.
Shout
Shout out to him. I know that we've had like our crossings in the past. Like I don't know how to say it, but it's all squashed for anyone
family
who wants to get into that drama. He actually like came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, I know we got whatever going on. We talked it out. No things. I would actually like to get him. He was telling me he was going to come on the show, but I didn't really want to have him come on to talk about nonsense like drama between me and him. I'd rather have him come on and we just talk about whatever the hell we want to. So
Oh, there's no drama. We're all in the same family, and family members fight sometimes, and we worked it all out, or y'all worked it out, and now you and I've worked it out, and me and John have worked it out.
Yeah.
But he told me to rebrand, and so I just went with Johnny B. Now, speaking of friends, I'm jumping in here like I own this place. There's Richard Monder from all the way from England. We call him Patches. He's in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Richard.
YouTubers, Shooting Gallery New England,
Yes.
the Gun Snob. There's a lot of folks in here, and I can't get to everybody, but all of my people in there. Hey, and to all the new friends. Hey,
Absolutely.
y'all.
Thanks to everyone for coming in. Yes, Shooting Gallery NE says he was still rocking the boa. Where the hell's the boa, Lola? Do you remember we got boas?
Yes, everybody was wearing them last time.
Yeah, I don't know. I got my balls. My balls are still. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Here, look, I'll show it. We can't show guns, but I can show the balls.
There we go.
I only have one sack. Dude, I don't know.
Stop it.
This is going to get off the rails real soon. I can't believe we can't show guns, man. The last time you were on, we could show guns and everything. We can only now show toy guns.
There we go.
If there's people from YouTube looking, these are toy guns. Oh, dangerous scissors. Oh, no, podcasting with scissors. That's dangerous.
I'm gonna run with those later.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Ghost Tactical. Big shout out to Reno May. Man, this is loaded up, brother.
Everybody's coming in. What? Yeah. Shout out to Go. I might be mistaken, but didn't Ghost Tactical have a birthday yesterday or something? Yeah. Happy birthday to Ghost Tactical. It was either today or yesterday. I can't remember. Yeah. So this is how terrible I am, man. I have social media. I go on there, but usually I just go on there to look at the hot chicks. So and then I don't post stuff or anything. But I did see Ghost Tactical. I think it was his birthday. Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. We'll see. What is this? Night Train says, ask Johnny B if he ever spends time in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
You know, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is kind of like the armpit of the South. And, you know, most people put them all together, Gatlinburg and Sevierville. I'm more of a Pigeon Forge guy. Got to stop by and see Dolly Parton and have a little bit of cotton candy. So I'm more of a Pigeon Forge rather than a Gatlinburg. Been there a million times. So great place. It's beautiful. But send me to Dollywood.
Okay, Dollywood is where did you say Pigeon Forge?
They're all together. It's all Pigeon Forge and Sevierville, but Gatlinburg is like up in the mountains and Pigeon Forge is down a little bit lower, but it's where Dollywood is, and the people smell like ham.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love to go see Dollywood.
It's great.
You know, yeah. I like going to parks and stuff like that. I don't like the roller coaster rides though. I'm too old for that. The food's
good.
Yeah.
Good food.
Yeah. Shooting Gallery NE gave us a couple of bucks. He says #free the balls.
Shooting Gallery New England, good brother. I did a little bit of live stuff, or I was in his chat for one of his lives just the other night. Good brother. He has an addiction to really poor people guns, and I hate that about him. But, you know, #Jimenez, #Palmetto State. I'm teasing.
Yeah, okay, Jimenez is one thing. How about you putting PSA into that same bucket?
That was harsh.
I know, man. What just happened?
I don't know. Just keep going.
That's some kind of travesty or something.
I'm sorry. It's early in the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is probably, like I said, gonna go off the rails here. I'm just making sure that I got all my stuff off the internet so we're not messing anything up. I don't even know where to start. We could definitely take questions from people, and if you see questions, we'll get into it. Judd Miller says, Hank, did you get another R8? Yes, I got an old used Volkswagen R8. I did. Yes, that's what I'm calling it, a Volkswagen, because it has the old ass Volkswagen keys, and that's one of my pet peeves about it. But yes, I did. I liked the R8 so much, I found a used one that was a lot cheaper that Lola was okay. You know, she said, okay, if you get this, I won't divorce you. So, you know, I couldn't resist it. So
gotta keep the Lola happy.
Yes, absolutely. That's the most important thing. Where's the boa, Lola? She can't find the boa, man. It's probably deteriorated by now. I just want to see it.
It's moved to every place we've been.
But
Johnny was last on.
Yeah, you probably don't even want to. Have you denounced all of those things you did in the past?
I have not denounced them. I mean, Gun Gossip, for people that don't know, Gun Gossip was something I did in 2018. It was a lot of fun, and a little bit last year. It was a lot of fun, and I wore feathers. But I'm telling you, Hank, those feathers go everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's no escaping the feathers. So I moved last summer, moved houses. I threw all the feathers in the trash can. I washed my hands of them. IV8888888888 Eric told me one time, because I had filmed in his studio like a lot of guys have, and he said about every 2 to 3 months down in his studio where they filmed, a little feather will float by the screen. There's no escaping
I
the
believe
feathers.
it.
But those were good days, man.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Those things are also really hot, so I guess...
Miserable.
Yeah, I guess they worked to keep you warm. I don't know. You know, but yeah, they worked. Let's see. Here's a question that someone's asking. Someone asked about... Where is that question now? The questions are just flowing through here. Oh, here it goes. Kathleen Music Lover wants to know, what does Johnny think about Joe Exotic? Oh, my gosh.
You know, I think the interesting thing, and of course I've binge watched Tiger King like everybody else, because 20 Tigers is 20 Tigers, y'all. But I think that show hit at the right time, Hank. I mean, it really did. Like, it was a phenomenon. And here's what gives me chills. Like, if you were to show me the beginning of that show, you've got Doc Antley with his harem of underpaid women that all live on his compound.
Yeah, that's my... If you got to identify with someone on that show, I'm going with Doc.
That's my point right there. You show me Doc Antley. You show me Tiger King, who like lures straight men in with meth and tigers.
Yeah.
And then you show me Carol Effin Baskin. And then you go, who's going to come out looking the best in this? And it's Doc Antley.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's insane.
It's really, really crazy. And it's almost like they planned the coronavirus so that they could blow up.
Dude, somebody's making stupid money. The big takeaway that I think the internet kept saying is, who knew that tigers were only $2,000? Like, who knew that?
Yeah.
Like, an adult tiger was $2,000.
If I'm gonna tell you something, if I would have known that when I lived in New York
When we were
City,
young-
yeah, I would have had a tiger.
When we were younger, like, that would have been a bad decision and a half.
Yeah.
What do I think about Joe Exotic? You know, on some levels, I kind of feel sorry for him. Like, I think he had a hard life growing up. I imagine he had some really, really traumatic experiences. I think he's interesting. I think he is probably not somebody I would ever do a business deal with because he's probably a crook. But I can't get enough of that show, Hank. It is fantastic.
Yeah. I watched it. Lola was like, I think after the first episode, Lola was like, I don't even want to see this.
That's because Lola has class and you and I are a mess.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, this is too disturbing. I was like, I'm going all the way. I did not see the, Netflix put up an extra episode. I haven't seen that yet.
My son saw it, and he's a really good taste of media. He's 17, and he said it's hosted by Joel McHale, who is sharp, and he said it is a ride. Said it's fantastic. Said it's definitely worth a watch. So I'm gonna hook that up this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably look at that myself. So Joe Exotic, because there's a lot of disturbing stuff in there about him. Like his treatment of animals is terrible. I don't know. I can't deal with that. And as a guy, like my dog, for people who watch my my YouTube channel where I do gun stuff, you probably have noticed you don't hear my dog whining and complaining in the background because he's no longer with us. Like to go and shoot these tigers and stuff like that and take them out. I think that's I don't like zoos at all, man. I think there's certain things that we should never do, and zoos are one of the worst things that we could do. I know probably some people think, oh, it's gun guy saying that. Yeah, I think it's terrible, man. Let those animals roam free somewhere and leave them alone.
There's a lot of animals that do really well in zoos. I'm not an ornithologist, but there's some that do really well, especially socialized animal. They have a blast, especially I was reading a book once where you're removing that fear of predation away from them.
Okay.
And so you can have these animals that live these really calm and great environments, but it's not the money-making animals. The things that really bother me are like the polar bears doing these repetitive behaviors and putting their heads against the wall. That is freaking animal torture. I am all for killing and subduing this world and shoot the animal. Let's put it on the barbecue grill quickly and humanely. I'm fine with that. Gun guy, that's fine.
Yeah.
I had chicken for lunch.
Yeah. But
I'm fine with that.
But what you see people doing to like the killer whales and stuff like that, that's actually not really cool. Confining them.
They need like miles and miles to have everything they need, and they put them in a little tank and then charge money. I think the whole orca thing and the dolphin thing is those days are numbered.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I learned about this, and the whole thing with Joe Exotic reminds me of this. When I lived in New York, I think I was like, I don't know, maybe when I was like 17, 18, something like that. I was living on my own, and I decided to get an aquarium. And then I decided I can't just put regular fish in there. I actually, from somewhere in New York City, bought a shark. Okay? So I had a little baby shark. I put him in an aquarium. And then I thought, oh, this shark he's lonely. And this is a real shark. Looked like Jaws, just like on a small scale, right? And so I had this shark, and he was in there. I was like, oh, let me put some friends in there. And then one day I'm looking at the aquarium, and the shark just comes up on one of the other and just chews him up and eats him. And I was like, what the hell is happening?
Nature is metal, man. Nature is metal. Everything is looking to predate or get away from the predators.
Yeah, when I saw that, I freaked out, and that was the end of having, like, to me, I was like, okay, this doesn't, because, how can you take a shark and put them in a this is a little aquarium? Doesn't matter. I know people have sharks and they've got big aquariums and all that, but really sharks should just be in the ocean. And we should
leave them
out.
Alone.
Yeah, we should leave them
I agree.
Alone.
Now, I want to circle back on something you said a minute ago, where you said, hey, I know that I'm a gun guy, but I'm also not for like locking up smart animals. I mean, pigs are smart. Pigs are almost as smart as a chimpanzee, and so are octopi, like crazy smart animals. You said, hey, I'm a gun guy, but I think this elephant, no pun intended, there's an elephant that sits in the room of what people think gun guys are. And like even you were saying, well, I'm allowed to be sensitive. It's okay for me to not want animals mistreated. Yeah, I'll go out and blow something away and put it on the grill. humanely. But how about this idea that we almost have to just like stop and go, hey, I'm a gun guy, but I can still have these other feelings. And I think, our friend John Lovell, with him being a warrior poet, his whole idea is we can be, mindful of how we live. We can be thoughtful in our lives and want to go out and just do mag dumps and scream America.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think a lot of gun guys are responsible. I think a lot of gun guys believe in nature. People just don't believe that. Like, I live in the country. I have trees around me. I love nature and all that kind of stuff. I've never actually been hunting, but I would go hunting. I wouldn't hunt something, kill something that I'm not going to eat or someone else is not going to eat. So that's the way. Like, for example, I don't eat pork. I know there's a bunch of gun guys out there screaming right now, but I don't.
Bacon is good, man.
Yeah, I just grew up like that. My dad grew up as a 7-day Adventist, and he just didn't allow us to. Yeah, I didn't grow up eating pork and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of things we shouldn't eat anyway. So I don't do it. So let's say I went hog hunting or something like that, I would have to have that meat donated to someone or whatever. That's just the way I think about it. So
I'm down with that.
And I think a lot of gun guys are like that. And yes, at the same time, I will do mag dumps and blow stuff up.
It's because it's America. Yeah, and I'm fine with that, especially if it is a varmint like I wouldn't mind. We had a 25-pound possum in the garage the other day, and that possum needs to thank the Lord that it's still on planet Earth, because I chased it around the house, and I would probably kill that for no reason. I'm not eating a possum, at least not today.
Yeah.
But it's a mess, and I think just the idea, I think it's okay for gun guys to be varied, because we're locked in too many boxes, by far too many boxes.
Yeah, we're not the same. Also, like I was going to say to you, man, I don't like little tiny creatures, by the way.
What do you mean?
Anything that's a little tiny thing, I don't like. So I don't like spiders and lizards and all those little tiny things. Don't like them.
Tonight is Animal Wonderland with Hank and Johnny.
And like, so for example, and sometimes there's big spiders because I do live out in nature. When I see those things in the house, guess who has to take care of that?
Lola.
That's right. So there you go.
All right, let me ask you this.
Dispelling all the myths right now.
hijacking your channel. Here we go. We're all locked in the house, and right now we're in a season where we're kind of conserving ammo. I think most people are. I've been doing a lot of tests for Pew Pew Tactical and just doing a lot, blowing ammo for those guys. But have you been shooting? What have you been shooting? Have you been thinking through ammo, trying to be careful, a little more careful with ammo? Where are you at with the current situation, specifically with ammo and the range time?
What I would say is I have been shooting. I don't really worry about ammo so much when it comes to because Fort Scott Munitions, which I'm actually wearing their shirts, shameless plug, they do supply me with the ammo that they manufacture. So I'm not super worried about that. At the same time, nowadays with everything going on, I don't want to like burn through all of it, because even they're having a tough time delivering to customers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not, we're not doing as many mag dumps as we would have done, or shooting full auto and things like that. So I would say I probably have scaled back a little bit, but I'm still shooting those things when we do gun videos. What's happening on the channel is there's not as many gun videos going out there. That's just because I think right now that the folks out there want to hear, are more interested in political stuff. So I do gun videos and I put those up, but either YouTube or people just don't have the interest. We don't get as much stuff going on with that versus when we talk about stuff like this. So I've been putting up snippets or talking about things happening in politics. I don't super deep dive into that, like guns and gadgets and all that, because I think those guys do a better job than I do. But I do get out there every now and then if I feel real passionate about something. So.
Yeah, and I think it's tough right now, and we'll get past it. Like, we got through past the ammo shortage of 2012. We've been through other things. This is going to pass. But even one of my reps for my ammo, I called him the other day. I was like, dude, I am burning through the 5.56, like literally hundreds a day.
Who do you rep? Let's give him a plug. Who do you rep?
I don't rep anybody.
Oh, okay.
I do trade outs, but it's all for my Pew Pew Tactical stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So there's we always show a bunch of different ones. Like Barnaul always gets us stuff because we always want cheap stuff in there.
Look,
Barnaul's great.
Yeah, I just happen to have some of that. That's something that I haven't been shooting because I haven't been able to get my hands on the 545. So,
It runs fine.
Yeah.
And Dave, Dave's doing all their stuff now. And I hollered at him the other day and said, "Hey, I'm doing a ton of AR stuff right now with Pew Pew, and I just need it." He's like, "Dude, I can't get it." So I think a lot of folks are having trouble practicing and getting out to the range. We'll get past it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a hoarder of ammo. And I also have a range. I think there's people, like, some ranges aren't letting people go out there, like outdoor ranges. So I know most of the indoor ones aren't doing it either. I'm not a fan of indoor ranges, to be honest with you, man.
No, I almost never. I haven't shot an indoor range in years.
Yeah. I don't do it unless I'm forced into it.
Well, I'm in Tennessee, and we got plenty of land here, so I shoot on a private range. I know a lot of folks just don't have that option. I am blessed, and I remind myself I'm blessed all the time. My editor hollered at me the other day and said, "Could I do a 400-yard project for Daniel Defense?" And we're doing one with Daniel Defense and one with SIG. I said, "Sure, bring it on." He goes, "Can you get land?" I said, "Let me make a phone call." Done.
Yeah.
So it's nice in Tennessee. I know a lot of folks don't have that option.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I guess some people live in. So I'm in Florida, and maybe you would think, "Hey, it's a lot of places to shoot." Excuse me. You know what? I think some people go live in those communities, so you can't. It's not that easy in your community, and then maybe where you're living, you don't have access to farms and things like that where people will let you shoot. So yeah, I know that's tough. Driving out into the desert, like for the folks that I know that live in Nevada and stuff like that, man, they have to drive out. You got to pack up your truck with steel, ammo, guns, drive out into the desert, be prepared for all kinds of crazy weather because it could be hot and then cold in the desert. Then you got to do all your shooting or whatever. Who knows who else is out there? Have you ever shot in the desert?
I haven't. All of my buddies at Pew Pew, some of them are in California, and they have all that public land, like tons. I don't understand that, but they've got all that public land, and I'm like, "That's amazing." And they're like, "No, it's not," because they have it loaded up, and they usually, to get the good shots with the rocks and everything, where it's not like full of garbage where morons leave stuff, they have to hike a quarter mile, which is not that long, but if you got tripods and all your gear, it is a big hassle, and they take steel up there, and it's hot. So I am happy to be in Tennessee. It is hot here in the summertime, and late summer it just gets steamy. But like right now, it is gorgeous. So I do count my blessings.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been out in Nevada in the desert shooting, and sometimes it's been nice. And then sometimes you go to some of those public places, and you set up, and then someone decides to go behind you and start shooting. Or something crazy like that. Yeah, so people just don't. What's a nice way to put it? They don't think about other people.
People are stupid.
That's the way to do it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Hank, do you, and I know we got a lot of YouTubers in here, and everybody in here is connected. We're all part of the same team.
Right.
Do you ever shoot with strangers? I don't mean like you go to a public range where there's a range safety officer, but if you ever go to a private range, would you shoot with a fan or not a fan, but a viewer? I've got viewers here, and I hate it. I hate it, Hank. I had to tell somebody, I've told 2 in the past couple weeks. Hey, man, I'm sorry. Thanks for reaching out to me on Instagram. I know we're close in proximity. I don't go shooting with strangers. Chris Kyle always comes to mind. I'm not putting myself as a Chris Kyle, not remotely. But I do not like shooting with people I don't know. I've had 2 people to my private range total.
Yeah, there's always a fear of that. Now, I have done it. I have done it. There's people who have come out and shot with us. I try to slow it down. Because of what you're saying, if you don't know someone. So I'd rather take time and get to know people. I'll try to meet people at a public range, where it's someone else's thing. One of the things is like, so for me at my house, if something happens to you out there, I don't want my family to not have a place to live because something happened to you when you came to my house. And that's the thing I try to tell people that, hey, I know it looks cool that I'm out here shooting and all this stuff, but I want to limit who comes out here and shoots with us, because if something happens to them, hey, all kinds of things could come out of that, lawsuits and all that. I think it's better to do it to at least meet at a public range and all of that, and then, hey, maybe if we get to know each other and, we jump through some hoops and I think I could trust you around my family like that, then, because it's not just me, right? Maybe if it was just me, I would be a little bit more, I don't know, reckless, so to speak.
I fully agree. Like, I would like to skydive. I'm not going to while I have kids at home. And when there's a lot of things I would like to do. I'm just not willing to do it. I don't have an FFL right now, and I just there's too much meth here where I live. No tigers, but plenty of meth. And
the tigers wouldn't have teeth, man, which might, I don't know, that might be cool.
Oh my gosh. I'm just not doing that at our address. And I've had people get mad. They're like, oh, Johnny, it's not that big of a deal. Well, mind your own beeswax. I just don't want my name and my address while the kids are there.
Yeah.
I just think just eliminate the things that could cause a problem. All right, next question, Hank. I got another one for you. We as content creators, there's kind of a rule. There's not enough time to watch everybody's stuff. I know Mr. Guns and Gear, Mike, he watches everything, but he's a crazy dude.
Yeah.
Who have you been watching lately? Who is killing it? Who's entertaining you? It could be gun, could just be normal stuff. But what have you been watching on YouTube, and who and why? Good
question. Mostly on YouTube, I do not watch gun things.
None. Me neither.
So I'm into I'm into a couple different things. Lately, I've been into Hot Wheels. I know that sounds
like Hot Wheels restoration, the restoration stuff, or the
just collecting. If you actually saw my studio here, you would think, oh, this guy's crazy.
I'm down.
This whole place is packed with Hot Wheels. I've got multiples of multiples. Like, I'll just grab something right now. So, like, right over here, I have, like, 3 of the same thing. And this is the Civic Type R. So, I look at a lot of videos about that stuff because I'm trying to... I've always been into cars. And I've always collected Hot Wheels if I saw one. I was like, oh, I'll get that. But just something happened lately, and I got deep into it, and I just started buying a lot of them and looking for specific ones and getting into the whole world. So I look at those videos, and I look at car videos and tech stuff and other things I'm interested in, because if I'm editing these videos and living in this world every day, and then that's my entertainment, I will lose my mind. You know?
And that's standard. Like it's people like, oh, did you see this video or that video? I'm like, no. Like at the end of the day, when I want to sit down, I'm gonna watch something else. And I do. What's funny is I don't collect Hot Wheels, but there's a guy I like watching things being restored.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and
those are cool videos. Yeah,
very cool. And I was really into Hot Wheels as a kid, like die hard as a kid. Now, have you seen what Kevin James, like Paul Blart Mall Cop guy? Have you seen Kevin James's channel?
No.
He's got like 20 videos. It is the best thing on YouTube right now.
Really?
His videos are 2 minutes. Dude, it is so good. You will have a blast. I laughed until I cried the other day.
Okay.
And it is so well done. It is shockingly well done. And they're only 2 minutes long. So that's currently what I'm really into.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I love Kevin James's channel. I think it's the best channel on YouTube right now.
Yeah, there's some people out there killing the YouTube, like celebrities are getting into the game. I mean, I think Will Smith changed the whole dynamic of that with his channel. He's done a lot of good stuff. Yeah, when I watch gun guy stuff, if first of all, if I'm doing a video on something, I try not to look at people's videos until I'm done. Right? Because I don't want to mess it up. Or if someone makes a video out there that really catches my attention, or is relative to something happening that I haven't done anything with or whatever, or maybe a fan or someone like that says you got to look at this video, then I will specifically tune into that. So I'm not trying to say like I don't look at any gun videos from anyone.
There's not enough
there.
time in the day, and when you're doing this all the time, there's just not enough. Like Brian Quick just said, I thought we were all a community. We absolutely are.
Yeah.
But there's like maybe over 500 gun channels, and there's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Plus, we all have other interests. It'll drive you crazy seeing the same review all the time. Now, I do reviews for Pew Pew as like the tactical soccer dad. I never served. I wasn't in the military. And they let me just do hey, what do you think? 2-3 days at the range. Give us an overview and your opinion. So a lot of times I do go and watch other people's videos before I even open the box. And I like TFB James. James he's a good dude. He's a friend of ours.
Firearm blog.
Yeah, the firearm blog.
He's too good looking for me to watch. I'm not looking at good looking dudes.
He is a good-looking dude.
Yeah, I know.
He and I are going in June. If all this blows over, he and I have plane tickets. We've already bought them. We're going in June to Thunder Ranch for a week.
Oh,
and
really?
I'm not standing next to him. Like I'm not. Like there's no way around it.
You guys might be matrimony.
Stop it! This is not the Tiger King. Hey, keep it the road.
Listen, that's how they get you, man. That's how they get you. First you look at Tiger King, and then you're out there with James, and you're like, yeah, whatever. whatever.
20 tigers is 20 tigers.
Someone was speaking of him real quick because I know there's like a ton of things coming through here. Someone did ask about like what do we think about Tiger King's gun handling? You know, his etiquette or safety or whatever. To me, obviously, it was terrible.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's an example of what you should not do.
Yeah, like maybe the worst ever. Like Voda Consulting, Voda is the worst. But I think Tiger King is of course, everyone else is in a separate universe. But Tiger King's, he's the king of what not to do. Yeah. I think that was probably a trolling question.
I would imagine. You shouldn't even follow his tiger handling. Like the funniest clip is where he's like, "I've never been bitten," you know? And then the tiger starts dragging him. You know, then he's mad at the tiger because it's being a tiger. Who knew? Yeah, he starts popping shots off. Yeah, so and then the thing is, for people like, don't get it twisted. We look at other people's stuff. I look at Guns and Gear. I look at Rock Veteran. I look at stuff. You did a video recently with Guns and Gear. I think you did it either last night or this morning or something. You know, or you didn't do. He wasn't in the video, but you were talking about the situation going on there.
Mike hollered at me right before I was getting ready to go press record on a video. Somebody sent me a Facebook. Now, it's the quick version for people that aren't caught up. Mm-hmm. Mr. Guns and Gear, massive Facebook following. He went down to one of the protests yesterday in Raleigh. He videoed it just as a man on the street, as a citizen. He wasn't involved, and he was not an organizer of the rally. Bang, Facebook popped his entire channel, gone, unpublished.
Yeah.
So I called Mike. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm getting ready to press record on the camera." I said, "So am I. Tell me about it." So I think it matters, Hank, to see guys get popped, not just because of his livelihood. Like Mike said, you know, there's real problems in the world. This is just social media. He's going to be fine. But as a little bit, this is not a First Amendment issue. People are going to say, "Oh, that's our First Amendment rights." Oh, stop it. It's a private organization. And we were fine getting mad about the dude not making the gay cake. He should do what he wants. He's a private organization. But then when they pop us, we're mad and call it a First Amendment right.
I had a really good conversation with Jonathan from Arms List. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, of course. I had a really good conversation with him here on one of the podcasts that I think people should, if you're interested, take a look at that. He is actually a platform, right? Arms List is a platform, and Arms List is protected, like all the platforms, by law of what they post on there. And so are all these other platforms, so they're protected. Yes, it's their, there's this weird thing, the conversation that we have here, like, okay, they're a private company, they could do what they want. They also are protected, the government has set up protections for them, right? At the same time, a private company, like a hotel, for example, could not say to me and Lola when we show up at that hotel, "Hey, guess what? We don't have any rooms for you because you're black." They could say, "You know what? We don't have any rooms." But if they say, we don't let black people stay here, then that's a problem. And that's what Jonathan was talking about, that for Facebook, they can, they're a private company, everything. But guess what? If they let other people talk on there, but then they say to us as gun guys that we cannot say something or we cannot show something, there is kind of a problem there, right? But I wouldn't take away their protections either. Like some part of this we have to address. And the fact that they're going after specific people, not just gun guys, but conservatives or people who don't agree with them. One of the things that Guns and Gear was talking about when I actually did a video with him that's going to come up probably in the next 24 hours. Look at what YouTube is doing. YouTube came out with these new policies saying that if you publish a video that has something that the WHO does not agree with, they will delete that video. Right? So at some point, that's an issue.
It is. And I think, the challenge is, because like what you said, if they were to say to your face, "Hey, Hank, you're a brother, get out of our hotel," that's a problem. But YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, they're not dummies. They're not going to publish their terms of service. They're not going to publish their they're never going to type it out. "Hey, we're unpublishing you because you're right wing." So they'll never say it. They're smart. And all of this stuff is assumed that they're blocking or shadow banning because of this. Like, we really don't know why Mike got popped. Not yet.
No, we don't.
So it's a mess, but they're never going to come out and say it because they ain't dumb enough to say it out loud.
Yeah. Now, there was an interview, which you and I were talking about this a little bit before. I don't know if we're going to get into it right now, but I'm just showing it to the people out there that might not have seen this. The headline reads, YouTube CEO, this is what she said, anything that goes against the WHO is a violation of YouTube policies. That's insane. You know, someone in Congress needs to look at this, otherwise we don't need Congress.
Yeah, absolutely. And to have something that's not even a part of our country, the World Health Organization is a bunch of globalist nonsense.
Yeah.
And to have a globalist organization step in, and then a major platform. This is YouTube. This is not like Joe's Barbecue down the road. This is a major platform. The number 2 search engine in the world is YouTube. This is where people go. To have them say, we're not following our country. We're not following the leaders of our country. We're not following even our own conscience and what we think is right. Instead, we're going to follow a bunch of globalist nonsense and let them dictate the message and who we have to follow. This is some garbage. I'm fired up, Hank.
Well, and then also WHO was dead wrong about coronavirus in the beginning.
They're all wrong. They're absolutely all wrong. I don't want to chase the conspiracies.
Yeah,
it's
I know. I saw
virus.
I saw you talking about that too. We'll get into it in a second. Yeah, I think that what if the UN decided to now start issuing policies and YouTube said anyone who says anything that goes against the UN, you're out of here. What other organizations can YouTube and Facebook and all these other places go, yeah, we're just using... I think that's just political cover for them. And to me, the flimsiest political cover. And if they... Look, I'll be honest with you, man. If we had President Hillary Clinton in the White House, you and I would not even be able to have this conversation over YouTube right now.
We'd be done. We'd already be done.
Yeah. Brian Quick, let me just get to this because he gave us a couple of bucks here. He says, what is Johnny's favorite Billy Ocean song?
Ooh, Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. It's like hard to like pick your favorite meat at the deli. Probably like European Queen. Maybe Get Out of My Dreams. Get out of my car. Get into my car. Love Really Hurts Without You. That's a classic. Suddenly, Loverboy. Red Light Spells Danger. Maybe The Color of Love.
You're deep in Billy Ocean.
There'll be bad songs, probably. There'll be bad songs. Yeah. That's the one.
Shout out to Gun Doctor TV as well. Shout outs to everyone who's coming in. It's kind of lively out there. You know what, people? Can you smash the thumbs ups? Okay, we've got over 100 people watching us live. Help us out. Smash the thumbs ups. We're getting deep into some situations here. I know we're kind of like jumping around, but my brain's kind of frenetic. Okay, where were we? What were we talking about? We were talking
about the United Nations and the World Health and Hillary Clinton coming in. I'm telling you this. Let me tell you how I feel about the United Nations. I am about one more push from them. I'm driving to New York City. I'm taking off my shoes. I'm taking off my socks, and I'm gonna tell them to pick which toe they want to suck.
Nice one. I agree with John Bolton, even though I know his whole thing in the Trump administration didn't go so well. I actually have always agreed with him. We don't need the UN. We don't need it.
What do they do? What have they done? Name me one thing that they've done.
They're just an organization for corruption. The WHO is the same damn thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Led by a Marxist.
Yeah. It's like the UN is a thing that America pays for so other countries can have diplomatic immunity, come over here, do whatever the hell they want, spend money, wag the finger, do all kinds of nonsense. We don't need them. Just drop them.
People in here that are asking about Billy Ocean, I Googled all that. Like, I saw the question come in.
Oh,
I just had it all. I had
you
all
cheated.
Up there.
Yes,
of course I cheated. I don't know a Billy Ocean song.
You don't.
How is a dude from? I thought it was like that. The one that I thought it was.
You don't know Caribbean Queen? Now we're living the same dream.
Like, I could maybe sing a radio song, but to actually say what's your favorite Billy Ocean song?
I'm no good with the lyrics. I make up my own lyrics, by the way.
Watermelon, baby.
Yeah. I'm dyslexic, so when I see things, my brain makes up what it's seeing. But also when I hear music, because I'm so into music, I actually hear music and then I start making up my own lyrics.
I do the same thing. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. That's why I've got problems.
All right, American Freedom Outdoors says, Johnny, what is your favorite caliber, rifle or pistol? It's going to be 9mm. Boring answer. It's cheap to shoot. I love it. I've got a few 9mm rifles, a few 9mm carbines. I have a few 9mm pistols. Hank, your favorite caliber?
My favorite, just because you said 9mm first, I'm going to say 22. Best caliber on the face of the planet, 22. Rifle or pistol, ba-boom. I got tons of those. Huh?
Rat shot.
Yeah.
22 rat shot.
22 is awesome, man.
Awesome.
And in times like this, if you got cheap enough 22, I've been telling people 22 is going to run out, people. You better stack up on that 22.
Happened.
Yeah, it's
I'm
happened.
going to start reading my 22.
Huh? You're going to start? Yeah, okay. Good luck with that.
Good luck. Good luck, Johnny.
I don't know a lot of things, but one thing I know, that's not really, unless you actually have little rats in there trained to reload that 22, good luck with that. Shout out to Walter from Safety Harbor, by the way. I see him in the chat. As well as Lola's out there. I hope you people are smashing the thumbs ups. Don't make me have to speak to you. Let's see. Gun Doctor TV says WHO just appointed a Chinese party member as head of the human rights part of WHO. We don't need these things, man. We just forget defunding them. I would just or taking this grant or whatever. I would just not support these things. We don't need them in America.
No, we don't. And I don't think this is some big conspiracy to say if Hillary was in office that we wouldn't be able to do this. This isn't. We're not being negative Nancy or conspiracy theorists. It's just the way it is. These people want the systematic downfall of America. They want the chipping away of who we are as a people, as a culture, our language, our ideals, our values, our history. They want to chip away, and they want the downfall of America. It's not drama just for clicks. It is true. They want the downfall of America, and they will do anything to get it. They will tank the economy. They will absolutely tank this country in order to influence the election that's coming up. I'm not saying, you got to vote for the capital T. I don't even say the T word on my channel. But
really?
The point is, I've said it once just in passing, but I don't handle it very often. I think the rest of the world talks about that enough. So I have plenty that I can talk about. But this is not some conspiracy, Hank. The Chinese are affecting our country, just like the Muslim Brotherhood is. It is a stinking mess, and they want the downfall of who we are.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable. A couple of things here. If you guys out there haven't gotten the idea already that the politicians, whether they're on the left or the right, Republicans or Democrats, are never going to let go of the power that they've seized under this crazy-ass coronavirus nonsense. I'm not saying it's not. I think, hey, there's a corona, there's COVID-19 out there, and all kinds of other things that are affecting people. I'm 100% with that. But these guys have grabbed power, and they have actually no intention of letting go of that. If you haven't come to that realization yet, then I don't know what to tell you, because your eyes are not open. Your ears are not open. You're not listening to these people.
Well, these socialists, the ones that hate America, they follow Europe like they do what the Europeans, what the Western Europeans do. They get shivers and chills following it. And there is already some organizations in England that can't closed everything until January 1st. Now, I'm not saying it's not a real virus. It is. But I am leaning towards, and Hank, when we're on off air, I would be probably even more this, but publicly, where I'm at least what I'm comfortable talking about publicly, I am leaning towards fake pandemic, real virus, fake pandemic, because the data is not there. There is no data. People are still making decisions based on models. Models are what we use when we don't have data. It didn't hit. There's no wave. The USC study said between 0.1 and 0.3 mortality rate. That's not even a rounding error. This is not happening. It's not here.
On the whole planet of what do we got? 7 billion people, or close to 7 billion people, right? Somewhere around there. What have we had? 130, 40,000 deaths or something like that?
We'll have more deaths to that this year from constipation, literally. Now, and that's true. Now, one thing we do have to remind, because a lot of snarky people like me love showing memes. They'll show, we've had this many of corona beer deaths versus this many people that die on the toilet, which is true. People do. But to be fair, to get away from being a meme lord, when we look at that data, this is over 90 days and this is over 12 months. So we do need to compare these right. But as of right now, there will be more people that die of constipation.
Yeah, and by the way, dying on the toilet is not a good look.
It's the number one place people die, outside of the bed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. One time, a friend of mine that's a police officer that shows up. I know this sounds really gross, but he shows up to things, and he was like, "Oh, you want to see something really cool?" And I was like, "I don't really think so." And he showed me a picture of someone that kicked the can on the toilet, literally. I was like, "This is not. I don't want to go out like this."
Nope, not the way I want to go out. So that's me and Elvis. I'm not going to be Elvis that.
Yeah, it happens. I never thought like, oh, this really happens. Obviously, Elvis is the famous one, but yeah, it happens. So
all right, I got a stat for you on how to go out. Here's how we're going out.
Okay.
In Florida, now I don't have the exact number. Don't quote me on that, but I do know this is accurate. It's right in that young man ratio, like 18 to 30 in that ratio. Of the drowning deaths in Florida, in Florida, 18 to 30, right in there, right in that male deaths, something like 70 to 80% of them have their fly down.
When they drown.
When they drown. They are all peeing off of something out on the water, and they fall in drunk.
What?
It's true. This is absolutely true. Of the drowning deaths of young men, their flies are down because they get up in the middle of the night from the campfire, and they walk down to the river, they walk down to the lake, they walk down to the I don't know if y'all got bayous or not, but to the water.
Yeah, don't pee when you're drunk, please.
Don't pee when you're drunk, or don't pee over water.
I see that headline, Florida man dies peeing.
With his fly down.
Yeah, we actually talk about Florida man stories here. Yeah, that's a little insane. And to go, by the way, shout out to Black Diamond Guns and Gears. Shout out to those guys.
Josh, the Tennessee boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were talking about China. If you look at the ownership that China has over America, it's really not funny, man.
It's not. I don't have the hard data in front of me, but about when they transition from that hard, we're communists and we're busing all of our children up into the mountains in the 80s, like a friend of mine was raised there, and she was taken from her family at, don't hold me to it, 10, 11, 12, 13, and bussed up to camps. And you were raised, all the teenagers are raised away from their families to indoctrinate the minds. But when they moved a little bit away from that and moved towards hard version of communist capitalism, and all that money started cranking, Hank, they bought half of America. It is crazy what they own.
Oh, they got money. They're buying half of the world right now and buying lots of things. Look at the movie industry. That America used to be the biggest thing in the movie industry. China has completely taken that over. Now in movies, you can't have Asian bad guys.
Because they own it. It's like, there's a conspiracy. I don't know if you know this. You know the conspiracy that the Jews control Hollywood? You know that conspiracy? You've heard that? Yeah. That's actually from Hitler. Like, most people don't know that. That is Nazi propaganda.
It is.
It is. It is still in America. And the Nazis came up with that. What you're talking about is not propaganda. The Chinese are influencing Hollywood.
Yeah, look at all your big favorite blockbusters. When it opens, you see the logos and everything like that. Listen, the thing I don't care who finances the movies. What the part of it that you have to pay attention to is that when they finance the movies, they can change what happens in the movie.
Yep, absolutely.
And we all know movies are propaganda. Like, even the American military has used movies as propaganda, right?
Still do. They're still using sports events, like all of those tributes. And I like them at MLB or NFL when they stand up and they salute. Like, even at the Cincinnati Reds where I go, in the third, fourth, fifth inning, they always have one service member stand up. Everybody stands up and cheers for that service member. That is paid advertisement. I'm okay. We need to feel good about our
propaganda,
country.
Yeah, absolutely. But so you're talking about this. Look at in sports. Look at what happened in the basketball world. Remember back in the olden days before this coronavirus thing? We used to look at other news.
I remember those days. We had some good times back then.
Yeah. Do you remember LeBron James? I think it was
LeBron James.
Yeah. I'm not a big sports person, but I remember there was a coach on one of the teams that said something bad about China, about the protests in Hong Kong.
It wasn't even that bad. What he said.
No. And LeBron James was like, "Hey, you better shut up. Why? Because he gets all this money from China. Now what?
Crazy money. I watched a thing on what he does and how he goes in the off season, what he makes in China in the off season. It is stupid. I'm not trying to keep a brother down at all from
make your money.
doing. It's fine. Make your money, man.
Yeah.
Make your money. But I saw a meme the other day. It's like, I'd like to know what LeBron James thinks now. Now, speaking of that, easy target Nancy Pelosi back in February when all this got started, and people are like, don't call it the Chinese flu. I'm like, well, it's Chinese takeout. Like when I go get Chinese, like it's okay. The Spanish flu in 1920 was the Spanish flu. So she went on a walking tour in Chinatown, and I don't remember which city. I think it was San Francisco. Don't hold me to that. LA, San Francisco, I don't know, Dallas somewhere. But went on a walking tour, no masks, and I would love to see her do that now. That would be great.
Yeah. Listen, as preparation, we were talking about looking at people's stuff and not looking at people's stuff. I knew you were coming on. I looked at one of your latest videos. You had that conspiracy theory about the vaccine. Do you remember that?
Which one? Which vaccine?
Remember remember you said there was a hot mic moment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, explain that to people.
Right. Here's the setup. If people want to just jump on the Google, there was a hot mic 2 days ago on the 20th. There was and the 20th was a great day. There was a hot mic in the press room in the White House.
Where we're seeing these daily briefings that are really getting on my nerves now.
We've all seen this room a million times. And there were two, they were not White House staff, they were press corps people. And one, don't hold me to this, I'm almost positive, one was from I am positive, one was from Fox News, one was from, I think, the New York Times, whatever, they're all a bunch of propagandists. And they were in there talking. One older gentleman, 60s-ish, had a mask on. The Fox guy came in, saw him, and said, hey, man, you can take that mask off. It ain't no virus. We're all fine. Mask dude, now, to be fair, the mask guy kind of chuckled. I think they were both serious. Mask guy might have been being funny to him, but I think he was serious. He said, oh, hey, man, we're okay. Everybody around here, meaning the White House, everybody around here has been vaccinated. I believe that. 100% tinfoil, I'm in. No one around the president has not been vaccinated. Then John Roberts, I believe is his name, from Fox News said, hey, the USC study said, and I quoted it a few minutes ago, 0.1 to 0.3 fatality rate. Low, man. I'm telling you, low. If you take 100,000 people that get something, and it's 0.1 to 0.3, that 0.1 and 0.3 are going to be people with compromised immune systems, old. The number one co-killer of this virus is not age, and it is not your previous health or your compromised immune system. It's actually morbid obesity. I'm sorry, Hank and I, you and I are both big guys. We both need to eat less biscuits. This is not making fun of fat people.
If you want to survive this, or you will get skinny.
If you're over 35, BMI over 35, and you get the virus, you're dead. But the nightly news can't say that because that would be mean-spirited to say it's the co-killer is being fat. Sorry, over 35, you're a goner. So of that 0.1 to 0.3 and 100,000 people, if you eliminate morbid obesity, compromised immune system, or having a case of the 90s, if you're in the night, and I don't mean like just really loving Ice Cube or Ice Tea, but
like, where
a
we
case
going
of
with it?
Chronology.
Oh, okay.
If your age is in the 90s, you're probably going to die. You'll die of the flu or the common cold.
Yeah, you can have lots of complications that, that could mess stuff up. Look, there's people who are going to die because they don't want people going out to hospitals unless they have to. But what does that mean? There's people who so all these people who would have gone to their doctor, found out that this thing was wrong with them, and then treated it and survived, are actually not surviving now.
Right, because they won't go out. There's so much fear out there, Hank.
Yeah.
Fear. I was standing outside getting coffee this morning, and it was all outside. We're standing in a line. We're 12 feet apart or whatever, like a bunch of people that follow the mainstream news. And I know that they're scared. I'm not. I'm not in a mask. I'm giving the Johnny Cash middle finger to society right now.
Have you ever? I've not worn a mask in this whole thing.
Heck no, absolutely not. Now, people that I care about, my little ones, they're in the house. We're being careful just in case. I'm not wearing a mask, but I'm also not like walking up to people just to respect them. So we're all in line.
Yeah, I'm giving everyone their room and all that kind of stuff. Here, at like where I work here in the studio, it's just usually me until Lola comes in. I don't like go hang out with a bunch of people and hug them and all that kind of stuff. But
No, not at all. So this woman gets her coffee and she's walking back to her car, and there's somebody standing remotely near her car, and she said, "Ma'am," and she was nice. We're in the South. We're nice. She said, "Ma'am, I need to walk to that car if you don't mind moving." And I'm like, "Calm yourself down and get off of CNN, people."
So crazy, man. I've seen people driving in their cars by themselves with masks on.
Totally masked up.
Yeah.
Fear, man.
Yeah.
Fear sells.
And if you are sick and you know you're sick, then you need to do something about that. And probably don't go out, stay away from people. If you have to go out, then okay, you wear a mask. But all of that's not really going to stop something if there's things out there. But ultimately, there's a lot of things out there that are going to take people out. There just is. And even the people, so for example, Lola works in healthcare, right? She works in the healthcare industry. She's a pharmacist, if people need to know specifically. She has to work, and where she works is one of the places where they're testing people. She's got masks and stuff like that, but they don't actually have that's not proper, the proper gear that you need to keep you from getting contaminated by anything.
That's got nothing to do with it, Hank. It's all up here. If you have the perception that this thing is keeping you safe, you're going to wear it. It is all a bunch of mental propaganda. It's a bunch of nonsense. Real virus, fake pandemic.
Yeah. Also, and by the way, just as a little caveat for any of the YouTube overlords watching, this is all comedy.
This is 100% comedy. We're making this up. This is not real.
We are comedians. We're doing stand-up comedy right now. Also, I had to preface that. Also, you know what, man? How do we know that they're not using this as a cover to body snatch, like the aliens are body snatching people right now? How do we know this?
The lizard people are out there.
Yeah,
we didn't land on the moon.
Yeah.
The earth is flat.
Yeah. How do we know what these people are actually up to? Like, what is the point of all of this right now? We've always had viruses. We will always have viruses, right? So even if we found out, let's say we're talking about the vaccination. Let's say there was a vaccination for this. Then there's going to be something else, dude. We are living in the infinite universe. We ourselves are freaking viruses.
Oh, you just went Matrix on us there, Mr.
Yes.
Agent Smith. The humans are the viruses. This smell.
Yeah, exactly. Like what could, this whole thought in your mind. I think this is a big thing in the Second Amendment world, right? In the gun world, that what makes you think that you have to be 100% safe? There is no such thing.
We'll never be safe.
But human beings somehow want that, man. We are doing all of this for something that's affecting, less than, like you just said, 1% of the people or less. Okay, it's really messed up if that's someone you love, you care about, your children, your love, your spouse or whatever, right? Your mom or your dad. But there's so many things in the world that do that. Cars take out a lot of people. If you're a parent, right? I'm scared when my kids are driving age. I worry about it when they're out there driving, but I don't stop them from driving.
No, I mean, these same people that are going to put that mask on. I saw two at the bank yesterday. They had the mask, but they had the mask down below their nose because they're morons.
Yeah,
these same people will text in the car while they're driving. How about just driving? Just driving is inherent risk. You are getting into a risk just getting in the car, let alone texting. We've got people, and I've got friends that have driven tipsy, driven drunk, driven buzzed, and people do that like it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I'll be all right. And then they'll freak out because the people that have the microphones are making us afraid. I refuse to live in fear.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've seen? Here's something crazy I saw, but Lola told me there's a reason for it. I was at a store, and shout out to all the people in the store still working. Thank you for going to work. Okay. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. So I was in the store, and the woman at the counter had on gloves, and she was, counting money and stuff like that. And then she would put the, what do you call this stuff everyone's squeezing on the hand sanitizer? Yeah, yep. On the gloves. So she would put the hand sanitizer on the gloves, deal with the next person, take money and stuff like that, right? And then put more hand sanitizer on the gloves. Then deal with the next. So I'm just standing there looking at this, asking myself, what the hell is happening right now? You're wearing gloves, and then every time a person comes through, you're going to put, what the hell is that hand sanitizer doing?
I think on some level, Hank, I'm not a big cusser or foul mouth. I'm family friendly channel. I'm a soccer dad, but we've lost our damn minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excuse the language.
Yeah. Lola was trying to tell me, oh, she's got, because the money's so dirty. But I was like, yeah, well, so what's the point of the gloves then? And yes, the money is dirty, but, none of this, I don't know, man. I think we've gone, everyone on the face of this planet is going to have PTSD after this.
Not me. I'm rolling through, baby. I am rolling through.
Yeah, me too. Shout out to C4. I see C4 Defense is out there.
Sarge.
Yeah,
that's Sarge. What's up, man?
Everyone's rolling up in here. You people better smash those thumbs ups right now for Johnny B. We got Johnny B here. All right, let's see. Do you have something else? What's the next thing you want to go on to here, or are there questions that we're not paying attention to from the folks?
Bruce, they are rolling in here, and I'm sorry. Like we talked beforehand because you said, what do I not want to talk about? I said the virus, but it's affecting our lives.
It somehow came around to it, yeah.
Well, it's going to. It really is, and I don't like to just like to poo-poo the entire thing and say it's not real. It's a mess. It's complicated.
It is real.
Really is.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks they're suddenly a scientist. Like Bill Gates suddenly thinks he's a scientist. Like, no, stop it, Billy. Stop it.
Bill Gates is using this as an excuse to push his own agenda, without a doubt.
He invested, I think, 2 years ago into the medical field as far as buying vaccines and buying patents. And suddenly now he's in charge of this? No. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing that where I'm at is that a lot of the things that we need to combat this virus that was made in China, that's not arguable. I'm not arguing that. It's made in Wuhan. Never even heard of Wuhan, but made in Wuhan. The Wuhan clan. The things we need to combat that, a lot of these medicines, a lot of the masks, they're all made in China. So the people that have the solutions to what we need
created the problem
and created the solution, and they're making money on all of it.
Yes.
I'm not a conspiracist, but I'm starting to be.
And lots of countries, see, remember before this, there's this conspiracy about 5G, and there's people who think 5G is causing this in the first place, which I don't believe. But, remember that a lot of countries said no to, what was the name of Huawei? I think it was Huawei and their 5G stuff. Including America said hell no to Huawei, right? Because there's all these backdoors in the stuff created from China so that they can come in and spy on the government, do all kinds of craziness, right? So now China is telling countries, oh, you want this stuff to help you out? Guess what? You got to allow 5G up in there. It's crazy.
A mess. Like I saw somebody that got arrested for, I think, shooting a shotgun or shooting something at a 5G tower the other day. I'm not chasing that one yet. I do a ton of research. I really do. And people get mad at me like, Johnny, you didn't give us a link on that. Well, get on the freaking Google and do your own research. It's not hard, people.
Yeah.
Somebody, I said on the this is a fun one. On the White House thing from the 20th, 2 days ago, and people can do this. If you want to see the footage, just Google White House hot mic or White House open mic. It'll like 50 versions of the same video pop up. Now what's fun? It was so hard, Johnny, so hard. Some guy who they just don't want to do the work. Somebody left a message on my channel this morning and said, Johnny, I'm not a techie. Can you give me a link? No, Chief, I'm not. I'll give you a link if it matters, but no, not on that one. Now, also fun on that one, if you'll Google White House hot mic or White House open mic, the wording and the headlines is fantastic. They've already put the dysphemism conspiracists into it. Conspiracists believe an open mic was real. Or they're already, that left, they are hammering that this video is fake. It wasn't fake. It was a behind the scenes. Their tone. Now, Hank, you know some of my background. I said on my channel last night that I am qualified. I am absolutely qualified to have an opinion on the tone of their voices and the tone of what they did. And people that know me and they know my background, they know I can. Like, this is like not like even.
Drop my blue gun. Sorry.
Drop my blue gun.
Yeah.
People. I can't have an opinion. I don't care about other people. Like, one blue, one orange. Go Gators.
These are toys. Oh, look at that. You know about the Gators. I was about to before I even said it.
Yeah, the SEC, baby.
Yeah.
But people just like, they think it's a big conspiracy. It's not. It was behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
if you look at Out of the Shadows, have you seen that Out of the Shadows documentary that's going around the YouTubes? One of the things that they, by the way, shout out to Babyface. He's the one that clued me into that, so I give him the props for that. One of the things they said is the CIA came up with this stupid conspiracy theorist theory, right? So they can blame everything. Oh, conspiracy theorists.
Well, again, it's a dysphomism. It's a way to make somebody absolutely not be credible. Oh, that's just a conspiracy. It's just like in the 90s, and I'm not a Republican. I am a registered Republican. I have to be in Tennessee. You've got to go one or the other. But when that leftist nonsense came out that Republicans hate children, that stuck, Hank. Just like when you eat carrots, there's people that ate carrots tonight at their dinner table, and they'll say, eat carrots, they'll make your eyesight good. No, that's a bunch of propaganda that was created during World War II, and for a good reason, but it stuck. And this whole idea that a conspiracist is wrong or is less of a person or is crazy, that stuck. All right, Flying Rich did a super chat. Thank you guys for those super chats on behalf of the lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
Appreciate it. Go ahead. This one is for you to read.
Johnny, hey, this is from Flying Rich for $2. Said, Johnny, techie, can you include a link? Can you include a complete sentence, and then I would answer it. Rich, come on, man, come on.
And he is an intelligent dude if you know him, which I do.
But once you hit enter, it's gone.
I'm telling you, that freaking autocorrect, that is a conspiracy right there.
That is
autocorrect. One of the things I could tell you. So here's my proof that all of this is BS. And like you're talking about the hot mic thing. Look at these news anchors who supposedly got COVID-19. And then they're now sequestered in their basements. Like, what the hell is the name of the dude from New York? Cuomo. Yeah, like Cuomo. Who is it? It's not Andrew Cuomo's the governor. What's his brother? Fredo. That's what I call him. So anyway, he's supposed to be sequestered in his basement, right? He's down there. He's making, oh, look, woe is me in my massive ass basement that my whole house can fit in there. You know, I'm in my basement. I can't see my kids and all this. He makes a whole big show when he comes up the steps in his multi-million-dollar mansion. Hey, you know, more power to you. But before that, he got into a fight with a guy when he was outside. Did you see that?
I saw it. Oh, yeah, I saw it.
What is going on here? And then I think the same thing happened to Stephanopoulos.
Yep.
Right? Stephanopoulos was out there supposed to have the COVID, and he was messing around outdoors, and somebody's like, what are you doing out here, dude?
Well, and this again is not a conspiracy. It is always, Hank, this is the same crap that's been going on for 100 years. Rules for us, rules for y'all, not for us. We can do what we want. We're going to live these lavish lifestyles. We're going to do whatever we want. I forget where it was, the mayor, the governor, some idiot leftist moron. She went to the beauty parlor and disobeyed all of the stay-at-home orders, and she said that she was up front in public and she needed to get her hair done. No, she needs to go gray like every other middle-aged woman's had to do in the last month and suck it up. Oh, but the rules don't apply to them. Just like when Obamacare hit. We're not chasing Obama. Don't even chase it in the chat room. We're ignoring all you people on this one. But when Obamacare hit and the Senate and the House, they both voted it in, and they also removed themselves from it where they didn't have to participate in it. It's a bunch of freaking nonsense.
Yeah, and then the rest of us had to, man. That's one of the things. Like I have Crohn's disease, and Lola always like paid extra money so that we can have a little bit better coverage to deal with my Crohn's disease. And then the minute that thing hit, they were like, yeah, you can't have this anymore. Gone. Ugh. Don't even have the option of doing it. None of that makes sense. Why are we living, in this world where I can't decide to pay more to get better health? Like, what does that mean?
It's not fair. And I know life isn't fair. It's not. But we're almost at the point where I'm not like, don't chase it, people. I'm not believing the socialists. But we do have a bourgeois. Like the bourgeois are up there, and they will not Like, it's just they are going to hold on to that freaking power.
Yeah.
It's not right for somebody who's been in Congress to be worth $40 million. Like, that is not right.
Not because like they can have $40 million on their own, but to make it because they were up in there, no.
Absolutely. I have no problem with somebody having $40 million. Go. I mean, it's a land of freaking opportunity.
Yeah.
Bootstraps and elbow grease, people. Do it. Get your money. I'm sitting at work right now, and I don't have a problem with that. But to be in politics and making $78,000 a year, 84, whatever they make, and that's an okay living, to then be worth $40 million, that is a scam. Nancy Pelosi did all those interviews and just being just a woman of the people, like the crypt keeper, her liver spotted hands.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Did you see her showing off her refrigerators?
$22,000 of refrigerators, and then she opened them up, and it's got like $600 of frozen custard in there.
Yeah.
It is a scam. I don't care if she's wealthy. That's fine, but don't do it on the backs of people through systematic control of this country.
You cannot believe a wealthy person who tells you that you have to tax the living daylights out of the people who are wealthy in order to solve a problem, but they're the wealthy. And then, like you just said, Johnny, they're exempt from that. We're already in that position. We already get it. You're lying to us. You're just bamboozling us, right?
Absolutely. And the right is just as guilty as the left. The right makes just as much money in Congress and the Senate over a lifetime of being absolutely sold out to big interest and corporate interest. They are still making money. The right and the left, they both do it. It is a scam, and we're the ones that are suffering for it.
Yeah, this is the reason why. Do you remember when they had the supermajority when Trump, that's the T word, sorry.
2 years.
Yeah, Trump got elected. They had the supermajority. They had the White House. They had Congress. They had the Senate. And every time we were like, yeah, so what's up with taking suppressors off the NFA? What's up with universal, CCWs, right? Reciprocity for everybody. Oh, just wait until the midterms.
It's a scam, dude.
Yeah.
It is a scam.
And we're supposed to believe them. Like when here in Florida has gun control in that time. I was so mad, and I know some of these people, man, and I gave them a piece of my mind. That's why there's certain people who I don't deal with anymore. And, it's insane that these people who say that they believe in the Constitution, that they're conservatives, that they're gun guys and all of that, basically put gun control into effect in Florida, and then one of them, the governor of the state of Florida who signed it, went on to become a senator.
Yeah, shocking how that happens. All these payoffs, and it's not like we're not like a couple old men sitting around McDonald's going, well, one hand washes the other. No, they do. One hand does wash the other, and you can chase this stuff. It is documented. They'll get these crazy, crazy campaign donations, and then 6 months later they end up voting for something that's specifically for that company. Like, it is a scam.
When do you think we'll get sick and tired of the BS, Johnny? And not me and you. Not me. I know you're pissed off. I know I'm pissed off. We know most of the good folks out there are pissed off, but we're not enough, man.
I don't know, Hank. Like, we are at the point, and it's not, well, kids these days. It's not like that at all. However, I think we've got our freaking noses in our phones, and we believe what we're told, and there's this pervasive idea that anything right-wing is wrong. I watched a guy yesterday. I don't remember his name. He's a conservative, and he's a black guy. He's a conservative guy. And he was walking down a street, and somebody yelled at him and said something about they basically called him something bad that I won't say.
Oh,
and he's
I
like,
know where you're going with that one.
Yeah, and it's just like, absolutely. He's like, I can leave the blue plantation right now. It is not you to tell me who I should vote or how I should vote. And he's like, he said he is going to vote Trump. But, I think the average person is low information. That Rush has been talking about that for 40 years. And I haven't watched, but don't people freak out. I haven't watched Rush in years, or listened to him in years. But I do know he's talked about low information. And people, Hank, they're not plugged in. You think?
I think, like, the reason why I think we're running into this right now is that things have never been this good. And things being so good and people being so well off and having so much, which I'm all for it, also makes us really soft. It makes us think more about the things and wanting to maintain the things than what the hell is happening in the world, and then we're also just distracted. Like, I never remember my parents or my grandparents having this kind of time. And we
what do you mean?
So, and what I mean by that is, like, maybe not for me and you, because we're always working and doing things. Like, if I'm awake, I'm, doing something that we have to do here. But I just think, like, my parents had to work all the time, and they were really tired. And obviously they didn't have devices or all these kinds of things, and they just basically slept, woke up, went to work, worked, maybe came home, had a beer or whatever, slept. We, because of all the technology that we have, I think maybe we just have it too easy. And this time that we have, we're absorbing it, looking at all the things that we want to, and that's why we're not paying attention to the stuff that's really happening, and it's kind of like pacifying us.
It is, and I think, again, people are not plugged in. There is a systematic, this is all documented. There is hard data on all of this. Mm-hmm. The education system has been failing males for about 50 years. This is not right-wing propaganda or right-wing research. The left-wing research says the same thing, is that you could even say this. Think about a kindergarten teacher, and it's a dude. And people go, ooh, I don't want that. From the very beginning, and it's not just about having K through 3 with no male role models. There's 100 different ways in the education system that we have failed males, and people are going to start popping on here. Well, you shouldn't send your kids to public school. Sorry, that's not an option for most people. And
everyone can't homeschool their kids, and everyone shouldn't.
Or Christian school, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't. So the systematic, absolutely demasculinization of the male culture in America. You've got kids, and these boys, because of the way that they're punished in school, and I don't mean they're always beat in school, but like if they make a little mistake once a year, the type of punishment favors the women. The daily schedule favors the girls and everything. And I'm not saying, oh, we've got to be even, Steven. I'm just saying this, the end result of the high schoolers, when they get out of when they graduate at 18, they're not just soft. They don't have the logical ability. Their brains aren't developed. The synapses have not all connected, and they are not qualified to be adults yet. They're not turning into adults till 22, 23, 24. 35% of 30-year-old men still live at home. And we are a soft people. The military have had to dumb down their requirements for kids to get in because they are too soft and too fat. And it begins in the home. It begins in kindergarten. It is a mess. And I honestly believe, I am not doom and gloom, Hank. I love this country. You know that. You cut me, I bleed red. However, maybe 100 years max, we are so soft. I think somebody will have an opportunity to overrun us, or we will give up to the globalization nonsense, or our grandchildren will, because we're too soft. Boys are playing video games instead of procreating.
Yeah, if we don't have some kind of trials or tribulation, real trials and tribulation, not this crap. Right. Like a real sufferation for America right now. I don't wish it on anyone, and definitely I don't wish it on America. Would actually be good. But to have this thing where, okay, we're forcing this, we're forcing this situation where everyone has to stay home and businesses have to shut down. But at the same time, we're like, oh, don't worry, we're going to give everybody Trump money. Everyone's going to get money. We'll take care of you. So somehow we became socialist, even though we're claiming we're like the people, the president literally is not supposed to be a socialist, but we're running a socialist agenda, right? And I agree with you. And I have my kids are 19 and 20 years old, right? But I agree with you in what you're saying. And one of the problems is that when they went to school, the schools kept saying to them, you're a boy. That's what's your problem.
This would take me an hour to go through, probably a full semester. I mean, I have a doctorate degree in education, and I don't tell hardly anybody that, like almost nobody. And when I went through my graduate studies, it was like we went hard into that, the systematic demasculinization. Now, they didn't use that word. They would not use that word, but they will say that by 1, 2, or 3, grades 1, 2, or 3, we've lost the boys. And there's not one reason. It's not just because of curriculum or just because like a 5-year-old little boy is not ready to go without a nap yet. He's not ready. But we shoved him into kindergarten. Why? Because of free childcare. And then the end result is we have a weak military. We've got weak mindset. We've got soy boys. We've got guys marching around with Che Guevara flags saying, give me my Trump money, give me my Trump money. I got my Trump money. It's in the bank. Happy. However, there is about 1,000 different ways it is affecting who we are as a country, who we are as a people, and it's a challenge. They sit and play video games instead of being out in the woods or doing what the John Wayne guys did, and it's affecting us. We are weaker because of it.
Yeah, I think like with my sons, man, they aren't even. So I'm not telling you they're into girls, okay, but they have problems with the girls that exist.
All boys do.
Yeah, they for the most part cannot deal with their asses. They tell me this all the time. They're like, yeah, you know what? I would rather not even, they'd rather play video games
with their boys or hang out with their boys because it's easier and less drama. They ain't ready.
But it's not because it's not like when we were younger and we had leeway to mess up. That's not saying you could just get a club, knock a chick over the head, and drag her back to your cave. No, I never believed in that.
No.
But it's like you can't even say something now.
No, absolutely not. And this whole idea, and we could go into Duke lacrosse or whichever direction we wanted to go, but it's an entire, like a whole big thing that men are not allowed to be men anymore. And I don't care if you're a poet. You don't have to eat leather and like chew nails and crap thunder. You don't have to be that kind of a male. I didn't play football. I was in the band. Suck it, haters. But you can still be a grown-ass man with grown-ass ideas, and you can still be like, it's not about weightlifting, not at all, but it's about being okay to be a dude. I work with high schoolers. I work with high schoolers other than when there's a virus going on, a pandemic. I'm in the high schools almost every day. I'm in colleges almost every day, and I am around this 15 to 25-year-old group nonstop. And all different socioeconomic backgrounds, all of it. It's going to affect how we vote. It's going to affect where we go in the future. It will affect, this demasculinization will affect gun rights because guns are loud and scary, and only trained officers of the law should have those. It's going to affect gun rights going down the road. We are hanging on by a thread, Hank. We're hanging on by our fingernails, and we've got a bunch of pansies. And I don't mean they happen to like boys. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care. You've got to protect the Constitution of this United States and not be some mamby-pamby jackwagon. I'm fired up, Hank.
Yeah. You know what? So because when you said you're around all these kids, do you find that most of these kids agree with what the media pushes, what the left pushes? Because I find with my kids, I haven't pushed them in a direction. I find my kids are like more conservative than I am.
I have found that, holy smokes, there's some young men that I am friends with that are, I mean, like crazy conservative, like fast and furious conservative.
Yeah, SJW is fighting words for my boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I was listening to a young man the other day. I was listening to a young man that happens to live with me. He was on the Xbox or whatever them little video gamey things are, that Atari, and he was yelling with his boys, and all I could hear was his side of the conversation. They were all shooting each other, and he's about to graduate high school, and he screamed into the microphone, you're dead. You voted for Obama. Voting for Obama was a slur or a diss in his world. So yeah, there is groups that are just hardcore, like they are plugged in, and
because they're pushing them too far. They're pushing them too far, and at some point they're going to snap back.
Yes, Hank, that's it. Yeah. Too far. Now, there are other groups that follow blindly. I gave an assignment to a group of college freshmen not that long ago. An assignment is a big group, 60, and said, do a speech. I don't care what your topic is. Those a bunch of sheep, probably no exaggeration, 1 out of 10 was either global warming, recycle. The humans are affecting the earth. And it was all of this. Now, are we affecting the earth? Sure, we don't need to be dumping garbage in the ocean. We get that. There's plastic in the ocean. However, because of corporate America, they have taught us that who is the problem? the individual. It's the drinking straw. Take every car in the world, every single car, every car. There's a lot of cars, Hank. Millions, billions.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's billions, millions, tens of millions of cars. All of those cars in the world. The top 16 shipping ships, the big ships, I am the captain now ships, 16 ships produce more nonsense than the average individual vehicle.
It would be better for the planet if we made shit in America.
Make it in America and quit trying to have your freaking strawberries in the middle of the winter shipped up here from Argentina. Eat seasonally, people.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
Now we've got to feel guilty and go buy a freaking Prius. What is all that plastic made out of? Anyone? Oil.
I would rather die than to have a Prius. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And listen,
Good question. Sorry, that's a good question for the chat room.
Yeah.
Would you rather die or drive a Prius? That's the question of the night.
And listen, I'm not really against electric cars. It's all good. I don't think we necessarily need to fund it. You know what I mean? I think that the industry needs to come along naturally with that. I especially think electric motorcycles and things like that are a good idea, right? But we need
Absolutely. Not against any of it.
Yeah.
I'm against it being forced down my throat and having to feel guilt. Guilt is the operative MO of the left. Oh, got to be guilty, so you got to go buy a $40,000 Prius. No, let's let the market do its thing. If Elon Musk can keep on and get me a 150 mile per hour electric car, I am in, baby.
Absolutely. And we're up to that. We're doing 200, almost 300 miles on electric cars. Here's the problem though. These things aren't necessarily better for the environment because of the batteries, because of the rare earth metals that they're using. We've had opportunities to do better things for the environment and make things cleaner and not have to figure out where we're mining these, these minerals and things like that out of the ground. So how is it better? It's not better, but then we're forcing it on everyone. And
it's emotions, Hank.
Yeah.
It feels better. That lithium is mined, not all of it, but a lot of the lithium is mined by literal slaves, not sharecroppers. Literal slaves are mining that lithium. All of that plastic is coming from oil. I saw a thing the other day about there's a lot of garbage in Cuba. I don't want to talk Cuba, but Cuba stopped importing cars a long freaking time ago.
50s,
and guess
right?
what?
I think 57 or something, I want to say.
Those cars ran for another 50 years because we put effort into them. Every little piece, I watched this thing one time on the 50,000 pieces that go into a new vehicle. Everyone has to be engineered. Everyone all that engineering produces garbage that goes into landfills. And also we can assuage the guilt that's been put on us by the leftists. And I'm not having it. So would I rather die or drive a Prius? Question of the day.
Yeah. And let us know. And also, have you ever seen a gun guy drive a Prius? I actually have, and that was
I have.
Yeah, and I told that guy, you are not a gun guy. You are out of the club.
Out, you're done.
He was like, oh, but it saves money. I was like, hell no, man. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
No, it doesn't. Buying a brand new Prius and then having to replace the batteries, doesn't save jack crap.
Yeah. He basically ratted his own self out to me with that Prius. Try to blame it on his girlfriend, all kinds of stuff. I was like, no, man up and don't drive a Prius, dude.
Man up. I don't care what you drive. I don't care what beer you drink. Be yourself. Like I said earlier, I don't care who you like. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care. I'm moving towards libertarianism the older I get. I just don't care, Hank. However, if you drive a Prius, we're not friends.
Jason St. Pierre is going to be mad at us. I'm going to read his thing. Shout out to him. He's always here. I'll read his comment. He says, I love Toyota Prius. Great mileage, goes good in the snow, and as a fleet vehicle, they rock. Drove one 40 hours a week as a medical service driver. So, hey, equal time. There, I gave it to you. You're awesome, Jason St. Pierre, but no. I'm sticking to my premise. No Priuses.
Done.
Those
Prius
things are horrible, man. First of all, okay, we're going to talk a little bit about cars here. Are you into cars?
I like cars. I've not modified mine all. I absolutely love what I drive. I drive an Acura MDX. I freaking love it. I do a shout out to my car every day of my life. I'll be driving and I'll do a shout out to my car. Comfortable. I'm also a Jeep guy, but I deeply respect the car guys. I watch a lot of car shows. I watch Jay Leno's Garage.
Yeah, good
so
show.
For a non-car guy, I can talk cars.
Yeah. Okay. So the MDX. How old is that?
We have two of them. My wife got one in,
Oh,
I
you
think they're
really
both
like
either
those.
16 or 17.
Okay.
And well, she got one. I've had three red Wranglers in a row. And I had that Wrangler 8 months, and I drove her car, started driving her car almost every day. And then John Patton has one as well. And I just pulled the trigger in August, and I went and did it. So I love it, man. I love that MDX.
Yeah. So as a Wrangler, I've never owned a Wrangler. I came close. Do you think like the Wrangler was underpowered or overpowered?
The rock crawler guys, they do those little four cylinders and they love them low with a lot of torque. I think the six cylinder, I've had a four, I've had two sixes. Well, now they've got those Fiat engines in them, which is just, it is what it is. They say that driving a Wrangler is the brotherhood for people with a high tolerance for being uncomfortable. Now, I don't consider the big four-door ones with that have $90,000 of stuff on them. That's not really a Wrangler. I had one that I drove for 8.5 months without the doors on it. That is without every single day. Daily driver, no
Really?
doors.
Oh, wow.
That is cold in the spring and cold the next fall.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to work with a wet left
So you
leg.
didn't have bikini doors, you just had no doors.
I had nothing for 8.5 months. It was some of my favorite days of my life. So I've done it all, and my last Jeep was really, really nice. Maybe a little underpowered, but I don't take it on the interstate at all.
Oh, okay. I found them a little underpowered. I know I think now lately they're trying to kick up the power on those things. I found them a little underpowered. C4 Defense says had a MDX, great vehicles. Oh, lots of people had the MDX out here. For when I was looking at a Wrangler, I chose to buy a Toyota 4Runner. I think the Toyota 4Runner to me was like a little bit better. I really like the 4Runner.
Absolutely, that's a much better car.
Yeah, I like the 4Runner, the Tundra, even the Tacoma. Those are like three of the best resale value cars, man. I think it's 1, 2, and 3: Tacoma, Tundra, and 4Runner. So I'm sure some people are going to get mad about that.
I'm a Wrangler guy. There is no reason to drive a Wrangler unless you want to. If you're going to drive a Wrangler, drive a stick. A six-cylinder stick is the only way to do it, and stay off the interstate. I went up about 2 inches. I'm a dad. Like, it's not going to be crazy. Get big, fat Mickey Thompsons on mine. It looks really, really good. The best thing about driving a Wrangler is the Jeep Wave. Like, that Wave, like, it just feels cool. Did it for years and years and years.
I think everyone should do it. I came really, really close, man. I came really close to buying one, and then I didn't buy it. What do you think about the new Gladiators? I'm a fan of the old Gladiators. What do you think about the new ones as like a Jeep guy? Would you buy those? You think they're ugly? Yeah.
I think they are overpriced. Jeeps are too expensive, and they are for what you get. I think they're weird looking. For me, I'm getting a two-door. If you can't get a two-door Wrangler and have that top-down non-stop.
Oh, so you're a two-door Wrangler guy.
I'm a two-door Wrangler,
okay. So you're not an unlimited guy then.
No, heck no.
Oh, okay. See, that changes the whole equation.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But no, now I'm kind of into being comfortable. I went up to Ohio to Hidden Hybrid Holsters back in August and had to rent a car for that. And I got home, I looked at the Wrangler sitting there because I don't take the Wrangler on the interstate with the Mickey Thompsons. And I said, that's it. I went to CarMax, and the cool thing about CarMax is all the doors are unlocked. I went through and spent about an hour and sat in everything, and I walked around with a friend of mine. And he said the number one, I needed something comfortable but big enough to put all my guns in. And when I go to the range, tripods and guns. He said the number one, and I agree with this, dude. I've test driven all of them. The number one SUV in America is that Lexus 350. And but it was about $5 more than I was wanting to pay. So if I had about another $5 to $7, I would have gone up to that Lexus 350. That is the best SUV in America.
Is there a Toyota version of that?
There is, but it's going to be down just a little bit. I did both of the Toyotas. And I did the Honda. I did all of them. And I just settled for where I was with my budget on that MDX. So shout out to my white car.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about pickup trucks?
I think they're cool. Like here, you got all the guys in the bro dozers, and I saw two guys today with Molon Labe on the back, which to me says break into my truck and take my gun. Dad drives a truck. Everybody here drives trucks. I've had a truck. My first brand new vehicle was a truck. So it is what it is. Guys love them. Yeah. I don't want to drive around in a giant truck, but I totally respect guys that do, and we probably need to borrow it next time we get a couch.
Yeah, exactly. See, I do have a pickup truck. which Lola drives most of the time. Ram Rebel. It's actually pretty awesome. My first, no, actually I had a pickup truck before that, but I just drove it around the property. This is my first proper like pickup truck driving around. Pretty comfortable, luxurious. Everyone can sit in there. You could throw things in there. I could shoot out the back of it. You know, I could drive it onto the range and shoot out of the flatbed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think those are becoming very popular. Even the last time I was in New York City, I noticed a lot of pickup trucks in New York City, which when I lived there, I didn't see them that often.
They're high, man. Pickup trucks are expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive. You can pick up trucks now, man. I think like 40, 50,000.
You can't get into an F-150 for under 50. Like it ain't happening. You're going to be at like 65.
Yeah. I would definitely have to do the Raptor. So that's my problem though.
Man, those Raptors. I was at CMMG a couple weeks ago, and those guys have got some Raptors sitting out front that makes me want to get a Brodozer and be a redneck and move to Missouri. Are you brand specific? Are you like a Dodge guy? You know, okay, all right. No, that's too redneck, Hank. Those guys, Ford and Chevy. Yeah. That whole thing, that's a bunch of nonsense. It's absolutely a bunch of nonsense. Or they'll say, well, you bought a Japanese car. Well, you know what, pal? Your Chevy was made in Mexico. Stop it.
All these cars today, no matter where you buy them from, have lots of Chinese parts in them. We already had this conversation.
Yep.
Everything has stuff from China. Flying Rich gave us a couple of bucks here. He says, wasn't it a Jeep you tried to take the pole down? Flying Rich, he's trying to tell a story where, so I actually have a Suzuki Samurai because in the 90s, I thought those were badass.
Wait, you still have it?
Yeah, I just got it. I just got a Suzuki Samurai.
Wait, you're hitting this guy on a Toyota Prius and you own a Suzuki Samurai?
But that's awesome, though. What's wrong with a Suzuki?
Like a Barbie Jeep?
Suzuki Samurai is pretty cool.
Pretty cool in what universe? You're hitting on this poor guy. Apologize to that guy. Apologize to the Prius guy right now.
No,
I demand an apology.
A Suzuki Samurai is okay. It's a K car. It's a half a car for sure. But you know, listen, it's not a hybrid. It's definitely not a Prius. It can't go faster than 50 miles an hour, but it's still cool.
The way that you justify your vehicles to say it's not a hybrid. You've already lost the battle. Oh, it's not a hybrid.
Okay,
it's a Suzuki Samurai.
Let's see who out there thinks a Suzuki Samurai is cool. I think a Suzuki Samurai is cool.
It's the coolest name ever.
Pretty cool.
The name.
It's pretty cool. Let me see if I could pull up. I don't know if you will see pictures if I throw them up here. Anyway,
get an Amigo. Yeah, 22 Cheapsters hitting with the Amigo. Ooh, that's a throwback right there.
Oh, that's an Isuzu, right?
Yeah, Suzuki Amigo. That is a throwback to the 90s.
Yes, those were also cool. See, like when I was in high school, I graduated high school in 1988. Suzuki Samurai was the thing.
Oh, totally. I was in high school in 88, and absolutely, they were cool, man.
Yeah. Jason St. Pierre now, I guess he's finding this funny. He says my plow guy uses one, and it's hilarious.
I'm starting to not believe Jason St. Pierre. Like you can't bullcrap a bullcrapper. Like he's teetering on my believability here.
Suzuki Samurais are awesome. You guys could just tell us right now. Yeah. Isuzu also cool.
These are fighting words. Stop it.
Suzuki Samurai is cool. It's like
cool in what world?
The next Alec F1 agrees with me. He says thumbs up Samurai. They
I'm
go off.
So angry right now.
They go off. It's freaking awesome, man.
I am so angry right now.
A Suzuki Samurai is
just say it out loud. I think cool. Suzuki Samurais are cool. You're done.
Yeah, cool.
A
Suzuki Samurai is cool. Here,
what color is it? Yellow?
Blue.
I know it's yellow.
It's blue.
Of course it's blue.
I'll show you guys the back of it.
Driving around in a jelly bean is what you're doing.
Here.
Hey, I'm Hank. I bet the horn goes boop boop. Boop, boop.
It's got a decent horn here.
It doesn't.
This is the back of it. I'll throw mine up here, but this is both of my cars right now. So this is my Volkswagen. The black car is my Volkswagen, and the blue one's my Samurai. See, it's lifted. I could take the top down.
Lifted.
I could do all the things you could do in your Wrangler in that Samurai.
Oh my God! Stop it!
Yes.
Stop it!
Yes. Alec.
Oh Lord.
Alec.
Just because you can get. Stop talking, Hank. Just because you can get over a speed bump at the mall is not everything you can do in a Jeep. Stop it.
Flatline.
You're going to pick up groceries at the vegan grocery store. Stop it.
Let me tell you, the other day I dropped the top on that Samurai and I was excited. I was like giddy like a little schoolgirl.
God, I can't do this. This is it, Lola. This is it. See y'all in 2 years.
Flatline Fiber Company says Chevy Tracker. No. I know it's the same thing, but no.
Shout out to Flatline Fiber Company. He made the keychains that we're currently selling. Flatline Fiber Company.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Where can people buy those? Show those again.
This is a total shield.
Show it again. Where is it?
Well, Shout Out Complies is the company.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And it's about non-compliance, sticking the middle finger to the government, non-compliance with tyranny. The tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants. Mm-hmm. And so shallnotcomply.com is T-shirts and all that stuff. But Flatline Fiber Company made us some really cool keychains. He did a really nice job.
All right, very cool, very cool. Shout out to
non-compliance, baby.
Alec F1 says Isuzu Viacross. Do you know about that, son?
I'm done talking about this.
Do you know what an Isuzu Viacross is?
I know it all, and I'm not talking about your all's nonsense. Shout out to Hootie Hoo.
Shout out to Hootie Hoo. I actually had a Isuzu Viacross, by the way. Awesome. I love that car.
Hank, everything that I knew about you is turned on a dime.
Listen, I like good cars and bad cars. I just don't like Priuses. I gotta tell you that. The only Prius I ever met that I liked, by the way, was I went to the SEMA show, and this guy had a Prius that he put a Hellcat engine in it. That was awesome.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that I would roll with. I would drive a Prius if it had a Hellcat engine in there.
Did you see the episode of what's the show in England with three guys
Top
in
Gear?
there? Yeah, Top Gear. Where they took that Hellcat through Europe. Did you see that? And they had to take a semi-truck with him full of new tires. Literally God, I got chills.
Yeah, I love Top Gear, by the way. I've seen all those episodes. I believe that's Grand Tour you're talking about when they did that one, because they kind of left Top Gear and went over to
right. I've watched the Grand Tour.
Yeah, awesome show. I don't know, they stopped making them really. They're kind of like putting them out slowly now, but they're not doing what they used to do anymore. But I love those guys.
Semi-truck full of tires with a Hellcat.
Well, that's how you can ball out on that Amazon money.
So, yeah.
Chris Delboy says Hank driving the Samurai looks like Wilt Chamberlain in the Volkswagen commercial.
That is an old reference right there. Kids, y'all going to have to Google that. Like, there's so many old references all in there together.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. That reference was brought to you by Metamucil.
Right. The imposter says the Wrangler craps bigger than the Samurai. There you go.
That also was an old reference. In the 90s, Jack Palance stood up at the Oscars. Old Jack Palance, y'all know him. He did a one-arm push-up and then said that he craps bigger turds than Billy Crystal. Look it up, kids.
Yes. Oh, was that where that came from?
Yeah, well, that's kind of something people say. I crap bigger turds than that. But Jack Palance brought that following a movie that they did together, but said he crapped bigger turds than Billy Crystal. That's an old reference, and that's why you brought me on, Hank.
Yes, absolutely. Just to go
dated references.
Yeah. What's your like dream car? What's your dream car before we get off the car issue here? What's your, if like money's no object, Johnny. You could get whatever you want in the world. It doesn't have to be a super expensive, but what is the one car you gotta have?
I've always said if I had stupid money, I would wear brand new socks every day. I love brand new socks. I would do that. And I always said I would do a Jeep right, like really do it the way that I want to do it, and like just really like it would just be cool. It wouldn't be something super special, but it'd be lifted just to the right height, wheels the way I want them. I would really like to find a way to have rhino lining inside of it, but still not get so hot in the summer or so loud all the time.
Okay.
I think just a good Jeep with a really good sound system that can get wet, because I've always had either a Jeep that can get totally wet and ruined, or one that I've got to be careful with. Nothing crazy.
You would get it with a V6, or you would have it modified to like Hellcat motor or V8 or something?
No, I think I would probably just tune up a 6, probably, or maybe get an older Jeep like those 70 CJs and really get that thing just right. Or first generation Camaro. I don't care. I don't care which one, but any of the first 3 years.
You gotta love a Camaro. You gotta love a Camaro.
Got to. And I think, rally stripes down the top. I'd want blue with either silver or white, probably white down the top, but I'd want it clean enough as a daily driver. I don't want a grease gripper. Hank, how about you? Reasonable, non-exotic dream car.
Reasonable? Why you gotta put reasonable on it?
Well, I think a Camaro that's a daily driver is a nice reasonable.
Yeah, I would like a Camaro. Also, I always wanted a Mach 1. The Ford Mustang
That'll work.
Mach 1.
I'm down.
I always
I'm
wanted.
down.
I saw that in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
top on the Mach 1, the way that scoops in the back, that looks great.
That looks macho to me. You know, it's not just because it was in the James Bond movies. Also, I always wanted something from like the year I was born, so like a nice '72 Mach 1 or something like that. You know, or really, if I had money, I would go for like a GTO. But those are you can't, you know, those are
You can't get them.
no, those are kind of
There's
expensive.
a guy not far from here that has a Shelby that's the same year, the same everything as the one from you know what movie and Gone in 60 Seconds. And it's in a barn. It's in a barn not 15 miles from here. I've never seen it, but he's got one, and he bought it originally from Carol. What's the name? Carol Shelby or whatever Shelby.
It's a Shelby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I
Roscoe
wonder what he
Shelby.
wants for that.
Evander Holyfield bought one that was identical to his, and it went for stupid money. And he said his is nicer than Evander's. But I've never seen it. The guy's got like 50 Mustangs. Like he's legit. But it's sitting in a barn.
Yeah.
Sitting in a barn right not far from here.
Here's something I would buy, like out of the car, because you should never ask me about cars. I would love to get a 1988, the year I graduated from high school. I know I'm sentimental like this. I would like to get a 1988 Lamborghini Countach.
Your 80s, that's an 80s reference coming out of you right there. Like we thought those were cool. I had one on my wall.
Posters.
I had one on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Everybody did.
I would love that. I also like the Lambo. You ever saw I know there's a Lambo, what they call Lambo truck or whatever out there now, but the original Lambo truck, you ever saw that thing? The LM. Hold on, I have a thing here, one of these. Also, by the way, I don't open my Hot Wheels or my toys. Now check this out. So I don't know if you can see this here. So this is a Matchbox set. Now right there, that gold car is an Audi R8, which I have one.
Yep.
This is the Lambo truck right here. I would love to have one of these things. That would be so badass to me. But also, you're talking to the guy who I actually put some money down on the Tesla truck, by the way, the Cybertruck.
You know, I about did. Once I saw that it was 100% refundable, I about did as well. All right, here's
why
my real
didn't
dream
you?
car.
Why'd you not?
But then it got to the end, and I said, once I read the 3 different levels, I wanted that third level, and I knew I would never put that much money into a vehicle. Probably not. I need to tell you my real dream car because I didn't want to say it out loud.
Okay.
And I'm dead serious. I am so dead serious. I want an A-Team van as my daily driver.
Yeah.
Full on, like, what's that?
The color, everything.
I mean, the exact. You got the battleship gray. You've got the gunmetal gray and the black, red stripe spoiler, GMC in the front, the black grills.
Oh man,
rocked up. I mean, there are places online you can get a bit by bit on how to build these things. And I want one done professionally, not by some redneck. That's my ultimate daily driver. I'm 46. Cool. I don't know if it's going to happen.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
want
an
doable. Van so bad.
That's
doable.
So they were. What year was that? What year Chevy? No, that was GMC, right?
Yeah, it was GMC. I think it's a 77, 78. But the thing about those vans is there's like a whole 20-year window. You can use any of them. You don't have to have the right year on those. It's not like the General Lee.
Okay.
So it is such a good looking, and I thought about it because you can do them for about 40 to 45. And so I thought about doing it, Hank, and then I thought, do I really want to roll up to gun events in an 18 van?
Yes, please. Please do.
Yes. I just don't know how to pick my kids up from school in an 18 van. Oh my God.
I would do it.
That's my goal.
Yeah,
I want an 18 van.
No, that's cool. Those are actually cool. If anyone, now you might want to, like Lola hates it when I get into projects like that because she's like, okay, that's just a money pit right there. Just gonna drop money on that thing. You know, but yeah, if you find there's not a company that does them, right?
There's not.
Okay.
There is a company. There's one final company that's got all the DeLoreans. They've got like 350 or 400 DeLoreans. I've looked at those. I've driven a DeLorean.
Oh, you have?
That's
yeah. How was that? Was that cool?
Well, DeLoreans are not cool. And there was different years, but they had a 4-cylinder Volvo engine, and they didn't go fast, but they're just cool, and they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
But when DeLorean shut down, all those parts went to one place, and some company here in America bought all of them not that long ago, and they're still building today brand new DeLoreans.
Because they have the molds and everything.
They've got everything.
Yes. Those are cool. I've never driven one. I would love to drive a DeLorean if anyone has a DeLorean.
Underrated. Underrated.
I just want to do it for this,
But
just
they're
for the
cool, man.
80s, for the 80s.
Yeah,
Can
they're
we
very
do
cool.
it? Yeah. So someone said the Tesla truck is never happening. Not true.
Not true.
It's gonna happen. I went for the middle one. I didn't go for the lowest one. I went for the middle one. But I'm gonna change my thing to the high level one because they were gonna put the middle one out first and then do the super powered one, but they've switched that around recently. So once they actually do this, if they're gonna put that one out first, I would upgrade to that because that's just like that's so 80s, man. How can you not?
Absolutely.
I know it's an electric car and everything, but how could you not rock that?
It looks great, dude. People were like whining about how it looked. And then the whole idea of that window breaking. No, I saw some marketing research that said they got about $300 million of advertising in about 2 days for $0. What are we talking about right now? That broken window brought that to the forefront.
Sometimes that's how you can't make. So this is something that we can, for people who are mad that we're not talking about guns, but for what we do, right? We make videos and things like that. You can engineer this to a certain level. I think there are guys who really understand this. I think you're one of those guys. And I know like Brandon, for example, is one of those guys. I know the Gun Collective is one of those guys. You can engineer these things, but making viral is something that you just freaking stumble into that. It's very
lightning
hard to
in a bottle.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
lightning in a bottle.
And that was the catalyst for that. If everything there would have went perfectly, it would have actually not gone so good. And when I saw that, I didn't think that was bad. I was like, okay.
No big deal. It's a piece of glass.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't do so bad. I mean, I'm definitely not worried about that. So I think that's what blew that whole thing up. I would definitely get one. Lola's against it because apparently Lola feels like she never gets to pick a car. Like all the cars are my cars.
I just assumed she picked the Samurai.
No, don't even. She didn't even know about that. I saw that thing and I was like, look, woman, I'm buying this thing.
All right, it wouldn't be 80s car talk if we didn't talk General Lee. And John Schneider, one of the Duke brothers, he has got a fantastic. Well, it's good. I'm gonna call it a good, solid YouTube channel if you're into that sort of thing. And he just holds up his phone. And one of his episodes, he just goes around his personal General Lee because there's a lot of General Lees, like hundreds of them, and they were different years and different this, and a lot of them.
50% Tactical actually owned. Do you know who that is? 50% Tactical. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's got a good looking one.
Is he in Tennessee?
He's in Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know how you Tennessee boys are.
There's a bunch of us. Shout out to Hootie Hoo. There's a bunch of
Hootie Hoo. Yeah, I see him out there.
Black Diamond. Even the tape on the top or the paint for the rebel flag was made out of tape, and because they had to turn them so quick. But John Schneider has got all of the correct things on his YouTube channel. Fascinating. There's another documentary that I watched about the guy that got Generally #1 out of Georgia because the show did a few episodes in Georgia. Generally #1 was wrecked, repainted, and then put up.
So it was like a stunt. It was one of the stunt cars. Or?
It was the original General Lee.
Oh, okay.
And then for another episode, they painted it to be a NASCAR car. And then some guy got it up in the woods, and it sat up there for 40 years, and some guys went down. It took a while. It took a year, and they got it for about $300 and restored it.
Wow.
Now one of the NASCAR drivers owns it, and it is flawless. But that car is pretty cool. Like, that is a good-looking, iconic.
Yeah. Who did not like Dukes of Hazzard? Because I know there's a lot of bullshit out there right now, but in the 80s...
Just about that stupid flag. Everything else is cool, man.
That was one of my favorite shows. I'm sorry, man.
It's good.
Yeah, I like Daisy Dukes.
It's good.
I mean...
Those were some good days,
yeah,
man.
That was a good, funny show. The guys on that show were funny. It was a lot of good comedy and all that kind of stuff. I love that show. Before we get out of this... Michael Avon says Hank listen to Lola next time. No, I never listen to Lola when it comes to cars. Lola wants a Maserati. So that's the end of my argument right there with you guys. Okay? Lola wants a Maserati. I will never do it. But that's what she wants. So at some point I will probably get her a Maserati, but I would rather Lola drives like a Bentley or something like that, or a Rolls Royce, than getting a Maserati, but that's me. Let's see. Okay, here's a question I was going to ask you. And the folks out there could play along with us. The best car in a TV show when you were growing up? What was the best car? I know you just said the General Lee, so you can't say that one. What was the best car in a TV show?
There's a little-known TV show called Simon and Simon, and they had this badass truck. Excuse the language. This bad truck. It was awesome. That was cool. So shout out to that. Airwolf, not a car, but the Airwolf helicopter was awesome.
Yeah, I dreamed about that. I went to sleep dreaming
Knight Rider.
of older
Knight Rider was fantastic.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Knight Rider.
My answer is that Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI.
Magnum PI, yeah. That was good.
Come on.
Have you been, you know what? Sometimes when I'm editing, I look at, Magnum PI is on, if you have Amazon Prime, they've got a bunch of Magnum PI episodes on there.
Good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was looking at it, and I was like, shit, this holds up today. You look at those episodes that they did in the 80s, but what was that, like early 80s to late 80s or something?
Late 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good, and I tell you, Miami Vice is good. Good cars, good guns, good outfits. The guy lived on a sailboat with an alligator. It's fantastic. Shout out to Sonny Crockett.
Yeah. That it was a Testarossa, right?
Yeah, Testarossa.
Yeah. Big Dre gave us $10. He says, Johnny, I gotta ask again, laugh out loud. Are you related to Jim Neighbors? I asked in a comment on one of your videos, and you made a comment a couple of videos later that makes me think you saw the comment.
All right, Hank, do you know who Jim Neighbors is?
Yeah. Why do I know Jim Neighbors? I know the name.
Do you know? Oh, this is good.
The name. What? Jim?
Black and white television show.
Jim Neighbors. Hold on. I'm going to go look this up.
Late 60s.
Jim
It went off the air the same year the Brady Bunch went on the air. Black and white. You know it? You know it?
Oh, Gomer Pyle? Gomer Pyle?
Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, okay.
Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
Okay.
That is a really good imitation, Hank.
Yeah. Are you related? Answer the question, though.
Well, Big Dre, yeah, I did see your comment on the YouTube. I get that literally every video that I ever put out. Somebody says, are you related to Jim Neighbors? I have made peace with the fact that I can sound and look like Jim Neighbors. It's not a compliment.
You don't look like him. You don't look like him. You might sound like him.
I hear him both. I don't think I look like him or sound like him, but people, I hear it. So I'm okay with that. I could do worse than a family-friendly show like the Andy Griffith Show. Shout out to Andy Griffith.
Yeah. Hootie Who says, Lola, I have a guy who can get you a Maserati cheap. Not kidding. Hootie Who. That's between you and Lola, man. I'm not even getting involved in that.
Come on, Adam.
Maserati is one of the... Okay, I think I would probably drive a Prius first.
Ooh,
Let's put it that way. Maseratis are good-looking cars and everything, right? And it sounds sexy. And it was definitely a rap song. It was, I think, I loves to steer my Maserati from here to there. I grab a beer, but never in the ride. Because I'm not crazy. I don't drink and drive. Who said that?
I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Yeah. No, I think that was KRS-One, but I could be wrong. Let's see here. What other questions? We got a couple of minutes here. What do you want to take some questions? Man, there's a crap ton of questions in here. Or comments
people
and all.
People like talking old cars. That was kind of fun. I did pretty good. I'm not a car guy.
Yeah, you did good. You are a car guy. I could tell. You're a car guy.
I like watching stuff from the outside. I probably will never tinker on a car or restore one, but I just love seeing that stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not good at messing around with cars either. So
I think rat rods are cool. Like I love old stuff with patina and you don't have to keep it perfect. Like the Chip Foose stuff that's just like perfect. Is that his name? Chip Foose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That stuff that's just so perfect stresses me out. Like you push a button and things open.
Yeah, that's art. That's art.
It stresses me out to maintain that.
Yeah. I like, you ever see these cars where they'll take like a Mustang, like an old Mustang, and then jack it up in the air, make it 4-wheel drive, and I love all like apocalyptic kind of a thing. I love all that kind of stuff.
It's fun to see. I like watching it. When I lived in Dallas, I like seeing like the Asian kids with their racers. Those Asian kids had some nice cars. Mm-hmm. I saw this baby blue Civic one time that I still think about every now and then. Like it hit me in my soul. Mm-hmm. I would never drive it, but I sure do like looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Denny L says you never said yes or no. So
no, I'm not related to Jim Neighbors. We can put that to rest.
Yeah. Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
Is that guy from? Is he from Tennessee?
He's from Indiana.
Indiana. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
So,
and he sings, and he's sang for years. He's passed now, but he always sang at the Indianapolis 500, and yeah, he's kind of an icon. Somebody said there that he's an icon. Tim Davis did. Jim Nabors is an icon in Indiana. That's an old reference. Sorry, kids.
yeah.
Deal with us old
Hootie
people.
Who said I woke up in a new Bugatti? Is that a rap song? Maybe
I think he's dropping some lyrics on us.
It's a rap song. Bugattis are awesome, by the way. I think Bugattis are pretty cool. I just wouldn't buy one because it's, even if I had the money, I wouldn't buy one. Let's put it that way. Mr. Saving the Day says, "What's Johnny's store again? Digging that hat." So
the hat's sold out. We launched this store, Shall Not Comply, shallnotcomply.com, and good people. We're all on the same team. I know you're locked in with Ballistic Inc. We're all part of the same family. Shallnotcomply.com. We launched, Hank, get this. We launched 2 weeks ago. We sold out of hats in 2 hours.
Nice.
Everything. I'm sitting here looking at empty shelves right now.
Sweet.
We went back to print today. I'm telling you, people love the message.
Oh wait, is that a business that you're doing?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
I have a partner, but Shall Not Comply, and I just want to stick the middle finger to the government in a family-friendly way. Stilettos and Shotguns, Carrie Sloan, she called the other day. She was repping it, and she literally called on the way to a rally out west, and she said, "I think I might get arrested today wearing this." I said, "Hey, we will help you with bail money. We will help you with your loss." And have been a lot of folks have reached out. Brandon Herrera wore one on his show yesterday. I appreciated that. But it's been a lot of fun. The hats are sold out to be back in May, but people like the message, Hank, to non-comply with the government in 2020.
Awesome. If we could do something to help out with that, I'll be happy to do it, man. Just let me know what it is we could do. Hootie Who says S2000s were cool. I agree with that. I agree. I had an S2000. I missed that car. That was one of the coolest cars I ever.
I think the bad guy in the first Fast and Furious, I've only seen the first Fast and Furious. I'm an adult. I'm not watching the rest of them. But in the first Fast and Furious, the bad guy, I think, drove an S2000.
I know there's been several S2000s in the Fast and Furious franchise.
They were cool.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. It's 9:00 here, so we probably got to wrap this up, but the time has flown by. Which is really crazy. It was great having you on, man. We got to actually have you back on here.
Anytime, sign me up.
Yeah, it's you make it easy to do this. I know you were just talking about the store, but right now is a good time. Tell the folks out there what can they do to support you. I know you kind of like closed down the YouTube channel and started up again, so not everyone knows. Even though I see the channels growing and everything, how can folks out there support you?
Just YouTube, Johnny B on YouTube. Type Johnny B into YouTube. I talk this kind of stuff. Two-way. It's not a political channel. We just talk about freedom. So the best way is on YouTube. I do a ton with pewpewtactical.com. People that are into Pew Pew, they know Pew Pew. But Johnny B on YouTube is the best way. Really good people out there. And I appreciate you and Lola for having me on. I had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm glad that you came on. It's always fun with you. Alec F1 says, Johnny, you're the best. See you on your channel, buddy. Awesome. I invite everyone here, even if you're like watching this when it replays or something, or listening to it on audio, go over. It's YouTube, Johnny B on YouTube, right? That's the easy way to.
Yep, that's it. It'll pop right up.
Yeah, that's the easy way to find it. I think you'll find it very entertaining and informational at the same time. Yeah,
and I'm getting ready. This is a lot of fun. And so a couple people have mentioned this in the chat room. Have you seen that new app that the network that John Lovell has started? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I think I've heard of it, but I haven't dug into it. Have you been looking into that?
Yeah, well, I'm a part of the team. So the Warrior Poet Society, they rolled out a new app. I think the actual thing, it's basically Disney Plus for grown men.
Okay.
And it's going to be cool, and they've got a lot of guys on there. So it's an app, it's a subscription service. So they've got a Marine sniper. They've got, I think, a Green Beret. I know they've got an Army Ranger. They've got Special Forces guys doing all of this stuff, plus a moron from Appalachia. And I don't know why, but they brought me on there, so I'm a part of that team. We launch in 50 days from today. It is going to be banging, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's Warrior Poet Society Network. I'm also into that. I think it's going to be –
as long as you're not that one guy that they take out there and put in the woods and say, run.
No, I am not that guy.
Yeah,
they're going to let me do my thing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
So
yeah, absolutely. Keep me posted on that. I'd like to check it out. So you said it's an app. It's subscription only, right?
It's subscription only, and
Okay.
I don't know a ton about it, but it launches in June.
In June, okay.
And I've looked at the who's going to be on it. It looks really, really good. I mean, of course, it's mostly going to be John Lovell and his instruction.
His crew, okay.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, awesome. All right, listen, I'm going to invite everyone to check out hankstrange.com. That's what we always say around here. Go to Ballistic Inc. if you want to get gear from us. We've got a new Gun Nerd shirt up there that you guys need to check out, as well as other things. But on hankstrange.com, you could figure out how to get like the patches, which we've got a couple of patches out, and I've got some more patches coming up. I think that's pretty much it. Lola says Hank20 is the code that you use, a Sportsman's Guide. It gets you $20 off if you spend $100. So that's something to consider there. Thanks to Harry's Holsters for sponsoring the show. Let me drop the end on everyone right now. There you go. Make sure you guys subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell so you can be notified. Thanks once again to Johnny B coming on the show. It's been so much fun. Any last words, man, before we press the button here?
Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
Awesome. Peace out. We're out of here.